The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Well, another big news day for actually a lot of teams. It's been a bonkers week, but we're going to lead Leafs because they fired their coach this morning.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, if the John Shaika regime has decided we now release information at 10 a.m., I'm thrilled about it. You got my vote all day, all night.
Pretty cool.
Because any other era, they would have waited till 3 o'clock and we would have been boned.
Any other what?
Era. I'm sorry, it's a
Era.
It's
Been a while.
Now they made sure in the press release, guys, to say that it wasn't Craig's acumen as a coach. It wasn't his character. It was just a different organization. Now let me say this: this is how liked Craig Berube is.
Sure.
Because even when they fire him, they're like, man, but we really like this guy. It's like what we've been saying here. Like, I liked Brad. Yeah. He had to go. I like Craig. He has to go. Now, Jesse, you dealt with Craig on a regular basis. Really?
First, you got to read first.
Oh, I got to read. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, 60-year-old went 86 to blah, blah, blah. Okay. Craig is a tremendous coach and an even better person, says Maple Leafs general manager John Shaika. The decision more reflects an organizational shift and an opportunity for a fresh start than it is an evaluation of Craig. We are grateful for his leadership, professionalism, and commitment to the Maple Leafs organization, and we wish Craig and his family nothing but the best moving forward. See, good guy, wrong fit. Jesse, you dealt with Craig every day last season. You liked him, right? On a personal level?
Yes.
Seems like a likable human, funny guy, that sort of thing.
Like everybody, universally loved by people in the organization as a person. And 100%. Everybody, I think, at the end disagreed with his philosophy on how to coach a hockey team. But as a person, very kind.
Yeah, I like that the Leafs press release ends at nothing but the best going forward. The NHL.com one then goes in the very next sentence. The Maple Leafs, 32, 36, and 14, ended the season 0-6-1 to finish last in the Atlantic Division, 15th in the Eastern Conference, and missed the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time since 2016-17.
First to last, baby. First to last.
Quite the sentence.
Only us. We were number one.
Woo!
We were number one in losing points this year. Nobody beat us at that. Suck on that, playoff teams.
First overall.
So let's talk a little bit about. I don't know that we need to talk about Berube's tenure because we spent the entire season talking about it. Steve, you shot a video this morning.
I did,
and now it's going to play into the Edmonton story, which we're going to get to in like 10 minutes. But the organizational shift is the key part of the John Shaika sentence, right?
Sure.
And we still don't know, because the press conference went so haywire, what the Leafs intend to be.
There's going to be another one in an hour.
A Leafs one?
Yeah, Shaika.
Oh, is he going to talk?
Shaika is talking.
Oh, okay.
This is breaking news.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that.
There you go. So we might have to pause at some point.
Yeah, we may. I look at this and I think, okay, so they don't want to play what they were playing. The Brad style is they wanted to get big and rangy defensemen who are slow and take up a lot of space.
Snot.
But they didn't want to. And we want to have
play with snot at all.
Low scoring chances, and they also didn't do that either. Right? There was a lot of scoring chances. They just kept going one way. How do you think this organization transitions now? Shaika said specifically at the press conference, and again, I'm taking the bits and pieces that I can hold on to here. We got to build from the net out, and he said rebuild the defense. So I'm assuming they're going to get back to speed? Some?
Well, Shaika's got a challenging job, as does every new GM. It's so rare that a GM takes over a situation that doesn't suck. Yeah. The reason there was a job opening is because stuff sucks.
Even when you planned it like Steen in St. Louis, it still sucks.
Sucks. It's very rare. That's not every day you're friggin' Stan Bowman taking over from Dale Talon in Chicago, and you have like a plug and play cup contender.
Oh no, a warmed up Ferrari.
Yeah,
just humming in the driveway, ready to be driven.
Completely ridiculous. God knows how many Hall of Famers and a bubbling scandal that. Anyway, but you know, he had a bad situation in Arizona, and he's got another one here, right? So you got to look at which way the wind is blowing, and it's a copycat league, and we've talked about that for years. I always go back to it was a big league with right around like 2010. The difference was the teams who are willing to draft players who aren't just the big guy, the big dude with like no actual skill, he's just big. Mm-hmm. the teams who drafted players who weren't that did well. Then by the time everyone else caught up, players like Tom Wilson became the market inefficiency, right?
Yep.
So the Leafs wanted to be one thing because they hadn't been that thing for a long time. Our power play is our toughness. And that strategy just never worked. Flatly never worked. It's been obvious since last year when they won the division, but it was punctuated so much more this year. All you had to do was watch a single out-of-town game. They're slow. They're so slow and they're so old. And what Chayka needs to do is make them not so slow and not so old.
Well, and
your back end has to be able to move the puck, which they can't do.
There's a lot of teams that made it to the second round with very young average ages.
Yeah.
Right? 26, 27. And that doesn't mean you don't have old guys on the team. Like Vegas is an older team. But and Anaheim's got some old guys on their team, but you kind of, mix in a 21-year-old, 22-year-old.
You have Gauthier, you have Seneca, you have Minchikov, Zellweger finally got on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Even like Vegas, like how old's Pavel Dorofeyev?
Like 26, 27.
Right? Like, yeah, you got to be able to replenish when guys like Mark Stone go down with an injury. You can't just be like, well, guess we're losing. Buffalo last night.
Muzzin goes down. Well, guess we're losing.
Yeah.
Said the Leafs 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like Consta Hellenius enters the series for the Sabres.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't score.
Yep.
But holy shit. Like he was robbed twice. He looked great. Right? You can't just be throwing in all these old randoms. You got to have young players, which ironically the Leafs sort of do. Berube didn't play him.
Yeah. Well, what if
Berube wouldn't play them?
We were talking about on Friday how like Villeneuve didn't get into, what did he get into 3 games or something like that? And he's like top 3 or 4 in the playoffs in scoring in the AHL right now.
He barely played. Luke Hames barely played. Jacob Quillen played a bunch of games, but barely played.
He played 5 minutes a game.
Yeah.
However, Bo Grew, 26.
That's how good Bo Grew was.
But he's 26 too.
Yeah, but he's 26.
Yeah.
But that's how good he was. He was a Marley's call-up. The Berube was like, you're good. Immediately you're good. And he was so good that Treliving had to be like, all right, we're setting you down.
Jesse.
Or that might have been Pridham, actually.
Elliot Friedman talked about on 32 Thoughts this morning about the fact that Tanev, I think Nylander has been around the organization a lot. He's staying in Toronto this summer. There's a couple other guys who live here. Tavares, Nyes. Yeah, we know Nyes is in town. They all have been spoken to and talked to and that sort of thing. And the Leafs have not spoken to Matthews yet, but it's not like a big thing. They just have to line up schedules because remember, Shaika and Sundin have to fly down there. It's going to blow a day and a half. There's a lot to work through. It's their first week on the job. You can understand why they haven't done it. How much do you think those conversations would have played into this decision?
Well, I think they get an idea of how the season went from inside the locker room, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to know is how he's actually managing the guys who are going out on the ice is by talking to them. And I assume at this point, there's no reason not to be 100% honest in your feelings because this is the time for the change. So you're going to get it. The part of the season that stands out now that he's gone is when he tried to fire himself. Like when John Tortorella fired himself.
Oh, in December.
And in December, was it December?
I think
it was a little later than that.
Oh, maybe it was where he's like, I don't have, I can't give them heart or head.
That was later, and that was much later in the season.
He had a
and
few,
then
man.
There's the other one where he's like, go talk to those guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's the one
man.
that stands out to me the most. That was probably around December-ish mark, maybe January. But there was a few times where he was fed up with the guys, and they have to be feeling that same thing back to him, right?
Yeah,
Listen,
that didn't come
it
out
takes
of
two
nowhere.
to tango.
Exactly.
Like the players own it, but he had to go.
Yeah, he didn't say that because he was feeling it one way.
Right.
This was a relationship between these two groups with him, his coaching staff, and him and the players. And at somewhere there in the season, it soured, and they were not happy, and he was not happy.
Like a point that I made that I know made me sound very but when Nylander scored in practice and put his ear up and Berube wasn't playing along, Berube wasn't joking. He wasn't kidding.
Yes.
I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do that. Nylander gets something done in practice and it's a joke. It's a lighthearted joke. Did he look like he was in a joking mood?
He was not. I don't think that relationship, I don't think it was bad, but I feel like there was definitely different pages there.
It was an odd relationship from a star player and coach standpoint where Nylander essentially had carte blanche to do whatever you want. And that's not the way things can be run if you are a head coach who's in charge of things.
Yeah.
You can't just give a student you like just free will to do whatever he wants in the room. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And this is, so I'm curious about the Berube conversation that Sundin and Shaika had this weekend, because here's the thing.
Can I ask you a question first?
Oh, yeah, sure.
When's the Matthews meeting?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
But the reason that they haven't done it is because there's, they just got the first overall pick. They have a bunch of shit that they have to do. And you're flying to Arizona, which is crisscross North America, right? So it's not a big deal that they haven't met yet. They're going to. But I would imagine that if they wanted to know perhaps a small slice of how Matthews feels, they just need to call his agent.
Well, like, the reason I asked the question to cut you off, without firing Berube, like, if I'm Matthews or I'm his agent, I'm like, don't even get on the plane.
Yep.
You have to get rid of this guy for me to even talk. Like, listen, last show we gave it to Matthews. It was a great conversation with a lot of nuance, which the internet has no time for. But the one thing I'm 100% on Matthews' side, you have to get rid of this person.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Now,
even like other things, like he was in charge of the team that didn't stand up for the captain.
Yes.
As much as it's on the players on the ice, which it is 100% on them, it's also on him for creating that culture throughout that season where everybody stood around, especially his star pupil, William Nylander, standing around. So that's also on him.
Well, and it goes back to, again, I don't remember if I even brought this up in the video this morning, but the Stallers thing from like the seventh game of the season against Seattle, that was bad.
Maybe if he had listened to Stallers, things could have been different.
I go back to, we did a live show that day, and the Leafs hadn't had a game that was interesting enough that it could define the season. And that's what I asked for that night. And unfortunately, I got it. That was the game that defined the entire rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. It was. So with this Berube conversation on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it happened.
It was Saturday. Saturday morning.
Curious about how that would have gone too, because one thing that Keefe tried to push for and Berube tried to push for, remember, like the playoff style goals and playing the right way, et cetera, different philosophies on how to get there. But the Leafs could be accused of not doing those things. And if you're watching the playoffs now in the second round, you haven't tuned out yet as a Leaf fan. By the way, you should watch. You could see what they mean. Although I disagreed with Craig's philosophy, I would love to know what his thoughts were on why this season went the way that it went.
So I don't remember who it was in one of our group chats, but they're like, watch, Berube is going to go on TNT and just light them up.
Yeah.
God, I hope so. He's not gonna, but God, that'd be great.
He was on TNT before the Leafs job, right?
Yep.
After he got fired from the Blues, he spent a little time on that panel.
Yep.
And then got that job.
Please.
So there's a chance.
Please. I'm gonna be as bold to say Craig owes us this. You gave us the most boring season in like Leafs history, like the most boring, unwatchable product in Leafs history. You owe us this. You got to go on TNT and say some stuff. Absolutely.
And I think, well, he was not going to. He's for sure not going to. But
unless he does.
I gotta think, I have to think that this would have been perplexing to him too.
What would?
The whole way the season went. No, I can't. I think he certainly, we know that, he was signaling that he thought he was going to be around.
What's perplexing is it didn't happen sooner.
To us. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what, like when sometimes you're in life, you think things are going to be fine, and then the sand just moves beneath your feet and you just don't know. Mm-hmm. I would love to know what he thought. I don't know if we're ever going to get that. And I don't think he's the type of guy to go, that guy's an idiot, F you guys, I'm out of here. I would love to know.
Yeah, but behind the scenes.
Perhaps.
He doesn't, listen. He thinks he has a good team. And we know that because with a pretty similar team, he won the division the year before. And he also probably thinks he's a good coach.
It's interesting, though, all the sourcing from the insiders at TSN and Sportsnet and everywhere else. there was that conversation when the season ended where, before Brad was even fired or whatever, they were like, well, there's a sense that maybe they didn't get Berube the tools he needed. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I feel like I
agree.
To an extent, sure, absolutely. But they didn't know that at the start of the season. Craig didn't know that. Brad didn't know that. Keith didn't know that. Keith said it was go time. We're going to win the cup.
There wasn't
that.
Adam's right in that, like, going into the season from Keith Pelly down, it was Stanley Cup aspirations.
It was.
And everybody in the organization is confused as to how do we stink?
Yeah.
But there was an air of Michelli, huh? Okay. Well, hopefully that works out.
Do you think Brad believed that?
What?
That Michelli, maybe. I think the audience and the fans and the people looking at the Leafs thought, like, how are you going to make Michelli into something? But I think Brad sat there and was like, no, I did my job and I built a decent team.
Well, he obviously thought that because then that was the last move he made, or rather Dakota Joshua was. Yeah. That was the last move he made until 3 days, I think, before the trade deadline. He had... Who was the guy? Oh, my God. He wore 79. Sammy Blais.
Oh, yeah.
He had Sammy Blais. Who was the goalie? Caden Primo. He did a couple things on waivers. Stetcher was pretty good. But other than that, nothing. And then, what I said in the video that at the time we're recording this isn't up yet, but it will be for you guys, is this past season was defined by what the Leafs didn't do. Mm-hmm. Like, they would not make any trades, and they had an opportunity to make a big splash. And they fired Mark Savard. They fired the assistant coach. And now what's ironic is apparently Elliot Friedman said the Leafs don't want, like, they want a new guy, right?
Well, that's what's being put out there right now.
That's what's being put out there. But let's say that's true.
Mm-hmm. Like a Dan Muse where you step in and you're a first-time coach.
Right. So let's say that's true. The number one argument against not firing Craig Berube in December is, well, who do you go out and get?
Pete DeBoer was available.
Pete DeBoer was available. He's no longer available. And now, with Bruce Cassidy available, all of a sudden we want the new guy?
We don't know that. We don't know that, though.
No, but
remember 2 months ago, they were saying, well, we didn't get Craig the tools. This is going to change on the fly. Don't hold on to that.
What I'm saying is that's the only morsel we have right now.
Totally understand that. And I think David Carl's the guy. If they're going first time NHL coach, they're going to, I would imagine. Who are you going to go for then? If it's not him, who's like the best NCAA coach.
I didn't know Dan Muse's name before he was head coach of the Penguins.
True.
So
no, I was
can't sit here and be like, oh, this is who they're going to get. So I don't know that person, but there are people out there.
Right. But all I'm saying is they had an opportunity to do something in December, regardless of what that something was, and they did nothing.
Yes.
That's why the thing that I screamed into the camera over and over again wasn't do this specifically. It was do something.
Yep. Yeah.
Do anything, and they just wouldn't do it.
Do something.
Yeah, and all that comes back to Brad thought the team was good, and they were going to double down on that. Keith Pelly's a big fan of Berube, and they weren't going to move off of that, and they just kept going at it.
They did one teeny tiny thing. They fired their assistant coach. It led to their hottest stretch of the entire season, and they took no lessons from it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
None. They were like, there must be a correlation here. They just continued to do fuck all, and flush your season down the toilet and your jobs.
Do you guys have anything more on the Leafs?
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't really realize this. So at the end of their press release, they're like, hey, we're going to let the new head coach decide what to do with his coaching staff, which is to say we're not firing the assistants. New guy probably will. Mike Van Ryan was someone Berube brought in. Mm-hmm. I assume he's gone.
Yep.
Derek Lalonde is fascinating because the penalty kill was the only thing that was good about the Leafs pretty much from the beginning of the season to the end.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was the thing people were pointing to as the thing that they were going to struggle with without Marner.
Right.
And they were great on it.
They were great.
But they did trade a couple of the guys who were pretty good on it, like Lawton and Waugh.
They did that too. But even it stayed kind of okay.
Because Gru was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, friggin' Bo Gru. God,
it's so funny that we have a coach that looks like Gru and then we have a guy named Gru. And they're not the same person.
I didn't even think
isn't that
about
crazy?
The Grews.
Yeah, the Grews.
The Grews.
The
Get
Grew
along.
crew. Literally.
The Grew crew.
What, Jesse?
But fascinating assistant coach. Fascinating assistant coach. And I didn't realize this path. Steve Sullivan ran their power play.
Yeah.
He was an assistant coach with the Leafs. He began the season assistant coach with the Toronto Marlies.
Yes.
Before that, he was head coach of a U18 AAA team in Phoenix. Well, why was he in Phoenix? Because he was previously an assistant GM with the Arizona Coyotes and very briefly their interim general manager with and after John Chaika.
Yeah, because here's the thing with the Coyotes. We've now raided their front office twice.
Yeah.
Treliving was a part of it for a long time with Maloney.
Can we stop?
And then we got Shaik. That's what I wanted to ask you. Is Sullivan a Maloney Treliving guy or is he a Shaika guy? Like, you know?
Well, it's interesting. Like, he could stay on the coaching staff. He could get fired. He could somehow go from coaching to management. I have no idea what Steve Sullivan's going to do. He's to me the most fascinating name in the Leafs organization right now in terms of management, other than... No, I was about to say other than Brandon Pridham, but I think he's just gone, unfortunately.
You think Pridham's gone?
I hope not, but I assume so. Sullivan is the mystery name.
Okay. Jesse, anything else?
I really hope they end up keeping Pridham.
Me
but
too.
We'll see.
Me too.
If I'm just Bruce Cassidy is right there. Just go get him. I feel like it's such an easy decision, and it'd be ridiculous if Chaika just doesn't go in that direction.
Well, maybe it's not that easy, Jesse. Maybe they can't talk to him.
I assume we'll get to that next.
Can't wait to get into
But
that.
with the leaks of information out of this new Leafs regime, I think it's going to be a little different because I assume the insiders don't have such a direct connection to Chaika because of how he's been ostracized by the industry. So something like this that dropped this morning, Craig Berube got the call this morning, and then it was released by the Leafs.
Wow.
That was direct. There was no leaks throughout the weekend because he didn't make that decision. And then when he made that decision, it was then released, and we all knew about it all at once. So it might be a new situation where if we're hearing things out of the Leafs, it's definitely not coming from the man himself and John Chaika or Matt Sundin. I don't know how much of a leaky ship the people around him are, but it'll be from more so the other sides and the other players involved in the negotiations with them. So it's just something to keep an eye on if you're out there and you're reading things, because it's not like Brad where he'd kick tires on everything and everybody would hear about kind of everything he's doing in different ways, and we'd all hear about that. It's going to be a new era of how you're getting information out of the front office.
I kind of like that, to be honest, because a lot of the time the leaks about the Leafs would come from different organizations, right? Because what do they care? And you know, while Brad called about this guy and the Leafs have interest in this guy, I know that because he called me.
He called me 4 times. What can I say?
Because I asked him. I asked the guy.
You know, and that kind of makes sense. So I am curious about, again, it comes down to like, what do they want to be? What do you want to be? In corporate terms, what's your North Star?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's the
and
thing?
it's not just like, what do you want to be on the ice? It's what do you want to be as an organization? What's your organizational philosophy? Because like Vegas, you know, Vegas, who they are from like ownership downwards. And the Leafs got to start working in those directions if you want to be a good organization. I think Keith Pelley's the wrong guy to lead them in that direction, but there's a chance here to rebuild something and build something up from the ground up through Chaika and Sundin into something really good, you know, positive.
These playoffs have made me stop looking at types of teams and just go, I think the Leafs should try to become a good hockey team. Like all the teams that are left have some kind of element of speed, some kind of element of puck moving, some kind of element of being able to stick up for themselves in a fight, some kind of element of being able to wear down their opponent and mix in the occasional save.
Yeah.
Like you can point to the playoff teams and you can say Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon. They have an organizational philosophy.
They sure do.
Montreal.
Yeah.
If you go to the West and you see a Bill Guerin runs Minnesota, it's like I put my balls on the table. This is how I build my teams, and like that's from the top guy down, and it leads to on ice success there. And Vegas I already mentioned, and like this is how the Leafs got to start thinking.
Can I just Jesse, you already know this. But for anybody that did not listen to the Jeff Gorton interview with Alan Walsh, the Boston Bruins should have hired him over Chiarelli. And
Yeah, you think?
And do you know what he did in the 4 months he was the interim general manager of the Boston Bruins?
Tuukka Rask.
So he did interim general manager of the Bruins in 2006. He ran the 2006 entry draft, which produced Phil Kessel, Milan Lucic, and Brad Marchand.
Good Lord.
And then at the same draft, he traded goaltender Andrew Raycroft to the Maple Leafs for Tuukka Rask.
And they could have had Rask or Pogge, and they chose Rask.
Yes. And he said that in the thing.
Oh.
And then on July 1st, signs Zdeno Chara and Mark Savard.
Man.
And then the Bruins said, okay, now we're going to hire Chiarelli. And within a year, Gorton was gone. And he went to New York.
Can I say,
Isn't that crazy?
like revisionist history and everything? When was Chara signed?
July 1st, 2007? 2006?
At the time, that was looked at as an astronomical amount of money because of where the cap was.
Yeah, that's true.
He signed for 7 or 7.5. And
Was it that high back then?
back then,
Wow.
which it made him one of the highest paid players in the league. Probably their best free agent signing ever.
In history. Yeah.
Spend the money. Sometimes spend the money. If the player's good enough, just spend the money.
Yeah. He gave them a great decade and a bit.
He sure
It's
did.
amazing. What do you got, Jesse?
This is the Pander Network, as all of you out there
it's
know.
Pander.
We did have Jeff Gorton on the network, and if you haven't watched the episode or listened to it, go search up Agent Provocateur on your favorite podcast app and watch it. Here is Jeff Gorton talking about the Rask for Raycroft trade.
Why are you mogging?
We were in a
What do you say?
Adam's mogging us. Look at that.
Oh, I just look tired there. I got a droopy eye going on. What's
Is Adam
up with that?
tired, Maxon?
Tired maxing, exactly. What's happening here?
All
All right, go ahead.
rebuild, basically. We didn't. We were in a rebuild, basically. We didn't write a letter in Boston, but we got Bergeron, right? We had Krejci. We had guys that were coming. That were good players. It started with Mike O'Connell and a lot to do with, I've talked about this before, is a little bit with the New England Patriots had just won their first Super Bowl. They had gone from Drew Bledsoe to Tom Brady and gave the keys to Tom Brady, and it worked. And that was sort of a little bit of Mike's vision, was that this team is probably going to be led by Bergeron when we start to go to the next level. And so Joe became a trade, and, obviously the trade didn't work out, what we got back. But in the end, the vision was to turn it over to Patrice and then go back into free agency and spend some money, which eventually Mike got fired. But we spent it on Chara, right? So that was the vision. The draft, obviously your scouts are good and working hard and had a great draft. You get lucky, you get Lucic in the second round, you get Brad Marchand, who's a Hall of Famer, in the third round. So those are nice things to have on your resume. There's a lot of good things that have to fall your way, and good people that did their job. So the trade, with Tuukka, that was, they had given us a choice, of Pogge or Tuukka, and I'm happy that we picked the right one. So,
I'm not. Just so you know.
No, I know. It's different for everybody, but it was great for the Bruins. It was, good for my career probably, and maybe not as good for you as a fan of the Leafs that time, but.
So that is.
I'm glad you said that, Adam.
That 3.5, 4 months where he was in charge of the Bruins set them up for the next decade. That's the kind of window the Leafs are in right now. Just so you know.
And the thing that I'm talking about, organizational philosophy, they took their mentality for those couple months from the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. Like that's just an ethos from sports that you just took over, and we're like, okay, let's kind of emulate what they're doing over there.
Hey, they're winning. What are they doing?
Yeah,
That's how long, by the way, the Bruins have had this culture of the Bruins. He's talking about when Brady got the keys for the Patriots.
The 2006.
2006.
Yeah, or 6, yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was 2006, but you're right. Brady was 2004. Sorry, Jesse. Yes. You're right.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Piss me off.
Also, that interview, Jeff is one of the most charming people I've met in hockey. Right up there with Ray.
Nah.
Very, very nice guy. And
sucks.
I can tell why Habs fans love him.
What do you think, Steve?
Garbage.
He's garbage because he's not ours. Damn it.
He's great. He's great.
He's awesome guy. Awesome guy.
I'm just looking at the 2006 draft and I want to throw up.
Everyone loves a power play and some power and capability. Nothing delivers quite like the Toyota Tacoma. You know, we've already told you about the iForce engine delivering incredible performance, impressive towing, 6,400 pounds. Steve, Jesse, we watched the Montreal-Buffalo game last night. Who reminded you of the Toyota Tacoma?
I'm going to go with the stanchion in Montreal. Reminded me of power, capability, and convenience.
Why the stanchion, Steven?
Because it scored arguably the most important goal of this series.
It sure did. Man.
Couldn't believe it because here came the puck and it said, and it just stood there, powerful.
They mentioned that actually on the broadcast. They were saying like that puck going off the weird part. When they built the arena, people were like, it's weird that they would put the Zamboni thing there. And it's fitting that it scores against the Montreal
Bink!
player. Yuck.
Yep.
Jesse.
I don't know how you can't go with the birthday boy. It's got to be Zach Benson. What a night to have. Like, you're turning 21. They gave him a beer afterwards.
I love
They're
that.
like, here's the first time you're gonna have one. Go ahead and
Here's
celebrate.
what it tastes like.
Celebrate your game winner.
Oh.
You get to try it for the first time. But I just think it's so awesome because seeing all the Sabres rally around him afterwards. They gave him the belt in the locker room. I was looking at some of the pictures. Everybody's just so happy for the kid, and he was awesome last night, scoring that goal.
It would be a crime if we didn't also mention Rasmus Dahlin. And I know we have been Habs Panderfest on this show many, many times, but Rasmus Dahlin, first overall pick. It took forever for Buffalo to get good around him. He's always been a pain in the ass, but being a pain in the ass and also huge. This guy's a truck, literally out there.
Well, and also on a good team. Because it used to be, hey, you're a pain in the butt, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And now it matters.
It really matters. And so anyway, Rasmus Dahlin, you're my Toyota Tacoma pick. Now, Red Tag days are on now through May. So go to shoptoyota.ca or visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer. Try one out. Let's go to Edmonton. Let's go across country to the Edmonton Oilers, who are not allowed to talk to the coach that they want, even though they have a coach. And I guess that coach now knows he's the coach they don't want.
Man, who would talk about the next candidate for a job when the current candidate hasn't even been fired yet? Pierre Dorian.
Yeah.
Ow. Sorry. He just stabbed my voodoo doll. Ow.
So just in case anybody didn't hear, it was leaked yesterday. Well, not leaked. I mean, Frank reported it. Frank Saravalli reported that the Edmonton Oilers had requested to speak to Bruce Cassidy. And so Frank made the distinction on Twitter. He didn't want to say it was denied, but it was withheld. And the way people are like, that Frank, that's the same thing. I think I know what he means. And what he means by that is not yet.
Can I read directly from him?
Please.
So we don't mince his words and
Let's not
tweet
miss
back?
Yes.
Is prone to do that. The Edmonton Oilers have sought permission to interview Bruce Cassidy as they contemplate significant changes to their coaching staff. To this point, the Vegas Golden Knights have withheld permission from their division rival, multiple league sources told Hockey 24/7. Sources said...
Wait. It says Cassidy 60. Is that his jersey number?
Is Bruce Cassidy really 60?
Yeah.
That's a good
He's a
guy.
good 60.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be that kind of 60. Whatever what's his, drop the skincare regime, Cassidy. Like,
Holy shit.
he's a good looking boy. Anyway, let's go.
Sources said Vegas had not outright denied permission for Edmonton to interview Cassidy, but had more so kept the Oilers waiting as they continue playing their second round series against Anaheim. Cassidy is also a target of the Los Angeles Kings' vacancy. So that, I believe, is what he's specifically trying to get out there, is that they had not outright denied permission, but they have kept Edmonton waiting.
Right. So here's the interesting thing then.
As is their right.
So does that mean they've left them on red? Like, do you think, does that mean Kelly McCrimmon, who I would assume makes the call here, runs it up the chain first, goes, like, does Bill Foley go, just don't answer the text?
No, Adam. I think they're passing notes in class and they checked maybe.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, no, maybe.
And apparently the LA Kings are in on this too, but that makes more sense because there was an interim head coach there in DJ Smith. And a lot of people were saying, well, the reason that Edmonton got denied is because technically Vegas can do this and it's not breaking any code laws because the NHL doesn't like this. because they already have a head coach. If they didn't have a head coach, this would be harder for them to do. I don't know what the mechanism there is, honestly, because I don't know if anybody knows the game that deeply unless you're a general manager, but I do want to know if there was a conversation back, what was the conversation? You know what? We'll get back to you in a week.
You know,
is that what that looks like?
Or what if you then win game 6 or 7 against Anaheim? Now you're going to the conference final. Are you then able to be like, well, we're in the conference final, so I don't know. We can't tell you now.
I'm busy.
Let devil's advocate here. Because some people are like, you know what? This is BS what Vegas is doing to Cassidy. They got to pay him the whole time, right? That's why do they get the right to do this? The reason they get the right to do this is even though they fired him, they get to pay him. They have to pay him. They get to pay him. They have the privilege of paying him. Who wants him? Divisional rival, followed by divisional rival.
Yep.
If I'm Vegas, both Edmonton and LA can kick rocks. Now, the good and gentlemanly thing to do is let Cassidy go so that he can go on to his next job. That is the good and gentlemanly thing to do. Since when have the Vegas Golden Knights ever done the good and gentlemanly thing?
Never. That is not how they operate.
Because they are not that kind of sports franchise. And I'm not even saying it as a dig.
Well, I mean, they are the last Pacific team. Well, I mean, they're up on the other last Pacific team.
They're a win away from being the last Pacific team. We carved them for the way they treated Marc-Andre Fleury. They won the Stanley Cup 2 years later, or a year later or whatever it was. The Vegas Golden Knights, all they have done for basically the entire history of their young franchise is reap the benefits of being bastards.
Yeah. I think the organizational ethos is fuck you.
Yes.
And you know what? I respect it because it works.
Instead of giving Fraser Minton and a first to a divisional rival, Oilers, hey, what do you need? What do you need? Fuck you. Okay. Hey, Kings. Here, wait. What do you need? What do you need? No. Here, coming closer. Fuck you.
Now,
and they're going to do that to every team that it makes sense to do that.
Elliot said this, and I have heard.
Take on Brandon Carlo.
Or you take on Brandon Carlo.
That's your team.
I will say that
let's just try it.
The league does not love this. Friedge alluded to this. Other people I've talked to are like, this will not go on forever. Mm-hmm. But they are, what Vegas is doing, they're doing the Lou Lamoriello, which is, if you have time, use it. Mm-hmm. And they have time.
They have time. The Oilers don't. And damn, that's crazy. Skill issue. Also, the Oilers also have time. They are actively employing Chris Knoblauch.
Yep.
So I want to ask you guys about that, because to me, this getting out there, I don't know how it got out there. I have suspicions on how it got out there, but the Oilers having this come out, the initial reaction in Edmonton is, well, Vegas looks bad because that's not the way you should play it, which I get, right? I think that I agree with that. That's not the gentlemanly thing to do. That's usually not what happens with management. The other thing was, well, Edmonton looks bad here because they have a coach. And, I saw some Edmonton fans saying like, well, he didn't seem like he cared in the last press conference. I'm like, he fucking cares. No one wants to get fired, especially when you're coaching the best player in the world. That's not what it is. It's probably called exhaustion. Maybe you've heard of it. And I think I look at this and I go, okay, the Oilers do not look good here. The Oilers do not look together here. This is a bad look for them.
Vegas looks smart. Or Vegas looks like Vegas. Edmonton looks stupid.
At least with, see, what would you rather be with? Cutthroat or sloppy?
Cutthroat.
Cutthroat 10 times out of 10, guys.
Yep.
Sloppy, which is what this looks like. And again, feel free to come at me with some other philosophy on this one that you think, oh, you're missing this, Adam. Actually, they're brilliant. I have yet to see it with Stan Bowman. Yet to see it. Every time I bring up Stan Bowman, I get somebody in when I'm bringing on the stream or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, 3 Stanley Cups, he's not brilliant. I'm like, he didn't build that team. And the team after the 2015, look at the Chicago team after 2015. I'll give him the cups.
Yeah.
But look at the last 6-7 years of his tenure in Chicago. Disaster.
It's annoying.
They still haven't made the playoffs.
It's annoying that in 2026 you still have to do that. This is the conversation I was having on the stream last night with the Marner discourse, is when do I get to just leave it alone and you get left behind wrong.
I was thinking about that, by the way. I think Mitch wants it left alone too. It was the reporter in Torts that did it. It wasn't Mitch. I feel bad for Mitch a little bit.
But,
we weren't talking. Mitch wasn't out there going, "Yeah, fuck you, Toronto."
No, I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
But like with the Stan Bowman stuff, what about? I think I need you fail the grade. You get left behind. That's okay.
If you want to ignore
half of it. You're wrong. We're moving on. That's fine.
You were also saying earlier in the show, who gets to be a general manager in a good situation? Stan Bowman twice. He's only taken over good teams.
You're totally right.
And so
he couldn't do it this time.
I think this makes the Oilers look a bit sloppy. And listen, it's a tough business. It's cutthroat. If Chris Knobloch was going to get fired anyway, he was going to get fired. There's no easy way to do it. This isn't the best way to go about it. He's under contract, though. This is the part that blew me away. This is where it really is a slam dunk bad thing. His extension that he signed last offseason doesn't kick in until September, and it's 3 more years, guys.
That's the one thing we didn't mention with Berube is $4.5 million for 2 more years.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's not an extension that hasn't started yet.
Yeah, that's...
And I know Oiler fans all year were saying, this guy, I don't understand his deployment, and I agree with them. Like, I do think perhaps he is gone.
I think...
And perhaps that's the right call.
There's a little bit of leafiness there too, though, and I hate to make everything about the Leafs, but like, yeah, the coach is making weird decisions, but also the GM did make the team worse.
That's true.
He did. This year's Oilers were not better than last year's. And
last year's Oilers were not as good as the first run.
They've gotten worse for 2 straight years.
Yep.
That's bad. Cup final, even getting worse, but yeah, it's not good, man.
Jesse,
do you think it's easy for other teams to punk the Oilers in these media wars? Like,
yes.
I look at the offer sheets that happened last offseason and them not answering them and then them messing that whole situation up. And I see this and it's like, you look terrible with a head coach. And it seems like it's easy for these other teams to kind of dunk on the Oilers.
Yeah, but here's what's great about that is back in the old blogger days, teams would be in these vulnerable situations where they'd mismanage the cap and they would have marquee restricted free agents and no one would offer sheet them. And these bloggers would be like, why aren't teams doing that? Then all those bloggers got hired in the NHL. And one of them was named Doug Armstrong. No, he never had a blog, but we're all of us, the whole hockey world was sitting around that summer, whichever summer it was, looking at the Oilers and going, they're kind of fucked, right? They're kind of, okay. Is anyone going to treat them like they're fucked? And then, okay, is anyone going to like offer sheet Holloway? Maybe. Is anyone going to offer sheet
at that point? We've given up on offer sheets.
Yeah. Is anyone? Oh, I guess they're not. And then like Doug Armstrong walks in, both of them same day. Fuck you.
Yeah. And then he was nice enough to go, okay, fine, we'll give you a couple of extra.
Yeah, and there was that weird pity trade. I forgot there was a pity trade.
You know why though? I think that's to save the relationship. Because you don't want to torch bridges, and
save the relationship.
I think that's what that was, Jesse.
And that was the offseason of the 24. So not last. It was one before that. And then you got like the Jari trade where Kyle Dubas literally has a bag of trash, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna put a bow on this bag of trash and play it for a week, and it's gonna play decently, and then I'm gonna get Edmonton to take it." And it seems like, I don't think it's just on Bowman. I think it's like everybody there because we know they have a really big, robust front office of people who used to play for the Oilers. And they all kind of lose these PR battles and lose trades in general.
Also, employing a front office exclusively of the greatest Oilers team ever, I don't know. Is there a Gretzky level executive mind walking through the door? You know what I mean? That team was Gretzky. Who's your Gretzky? Who's your hockey executive version of Gretzky?
Stan Bowman.
Well, they've already.
Who's your hockey executive version of Mark Messier?
Kevin Lowe and Gretzky and Coffey's on the bench. Like, they've done enough of that.
No. But this is what I'm saying is it's all the other guys.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also, like, They brought in Jeff Jackson. Like, this is the one thing Oilers fans have hammered us for, just because we've been talking about Bowman. Bowman deserves to get fired. Jeff Jackson has not done a good job.
Well, Jeff Jackson he was the one that screwed up the RFA thing.
Yes.
That was him.
He has not done a good job.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
It's so high risk.
It is.
It's so high stakes in Edmonton right now.
So we don't think that the Toronto Maple Leafs reach out to Vegas. If I am the Toronto Maple Leafs now, just competitively, I go, Vegas, we're not in your division. Can we talk to the guy? They're probably going to say yes.
Maybe.
I think he's the guy. I think you go ask.
If you think Bruce Cassidy's a good coach, you don't let him go in division.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think he's a good coach, you do what the Bruins do and you go...
Call Toronto.
Absolutely. Here's your poison pill.
Yeah.
The Bruins love a good poison pill trade.
They do. They really
They
do.
sure do.
Yeah, so that's fascinating. Now, anything else on Edmonton before we move on to Vancouver?
Yeah. Can I talk about a trade that I was all on board with that I think they might regret?
Oh, sure. Jason Dickinson. Kidding.
The trade was... it was 1-for-1. Sam O'Reilly for Isaac Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ike Howard. So Ike Howard was the highly touted prospect that Tampa had who wouldn't sign with Tampa, refused to sign with Tampa. So they made a trade.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to contend for like the Calder. I thought the Oilers were going to use him. I thought he was going to play in the top 6. He was going to get a bunch of points. It was going to be great.
Yep.
Turns out he didn't play most of the season with the Oilers. He still looks like he's going to be a really good player, but still. Sam O'Reilly was the return. 32nd overall pick by the Edmonton Oilers. This kid just won his 3rd straight OHL championship. He won 2 at the London Knights, then London traded him to Kitchener, and they just won in a sweep. All this kid does is win. There was a stat from Craig Needles. The team with Sam O'Reilly on their roster has won 48 games and lost 5.
Wow.
In the OHL playoffs the last 3 seasons. Seems good.
Oh, boy.
Holy shit.
So there's a phenom coming here.
Well, it's a prolific junior hockey career. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate.
But it helps.
It helps.
It helps. Yeah, I was talking to I was talking to Frank Corrado once, and we were talking about being drafted, and he was drafted in the first round of the OHL draft when he was like 14 or 15 or whenever that happens. And I looked down in the draft. I was just like, who was drafted that same year? I'm like, oh, Mark Scheifele went in like the 12th round. I said, what's up with that? He's like, yeah. He's like, first year, whatever. And then the second year he was in the OHL, he took over, and everybody's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's incredible. Mm-hmm. You just never know who's going to develop at what time. And
I heard the same thing or a similar thing about Tanner Pearson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was playing like junior B, and he was skating with someone, and then like a couple years later, he's on the Canadian World Junior team. Mm-hmm. And the guy who was skating with him is like, what the hell happened? He's like, I don't know. I got good.
That's great. I would love to just get good.
He just got good, and he got drafted in the first round, like in his 3rd year eligible or something.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so on the Canucks, it was basically CJ was talking about it, Ellie was talking about it, everybody's talking about it. All the reporters in Vancouver were talking about this. Evan Gold, who was a runner-up for the Leafs organization, was going to be the new general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. And now he's not going to be. So what happened? And I got some info on this. Do you have some info on this?
I don't. You don't. You badly don't want to be this guy.
Who, Evan Gold?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it used to be Mike Fuda.
Oh, okay.
Remember Mike Fuda was runner-up for every job forever until he was just on Sportsnet full-time?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is the same. I'll tell you what happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it starts this way.
Sure. I don't think this is the same.
I hope not, for his sake.
And
he seems like he has a bright future.
Yes, I agreed. And he's worked, what do they say? They keep saying he worked his way up from the mailroom in Washington. Right, this is a guy who's a lawyer and
literally an intern.
Literally was an intern, yeah, which is amazing. It's a great story. It's like Dubas with the Sioux Greyhounds, right? He was the equipment kid.
Wow. family owned the team. But
the family owned the team. Oh, I forgot.
I believe so.
Well, that's a wrinkle. Details, though. Details. Let's not listen. Still had a good career.
100%.
They saw potential in their own family. They were good for them.
Yeah. How'd he pull that off?
Yeah, listen, Gracie Abrams still writes great songs, even though her father is a Star Wars director.
How did Chuck Fletcher get that
How
job?
did he do it?
Because he's a wunderkind.
Do it. All right.
He's
So
14 and he's the GM.
What a resume, though.
yeah.
What a resume.
Hey, give John Chaika credit. Didn't have that. 26 years old.
That's
Did not have
true,
that.
I guess.
36 now.
I'm fairly certain.
Doesn't own the team.
Fairly certain he also comes from money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That part, well, how do you own 50 Wendy's at 36?
Right.
Come on, you had some
No,
startup
it's all
capital.
because of his analytics company.
Yeah.
It's all because of that.
But listen, we're not all dealt the same deck of cards. Life isn't fair. We move on. So I want to talk about Vancouver because this is fascinating. The Vancouver Canucks are again the story. And I know they're the third one in our ranking today, but this is, in terms of interest for me, this is the most interesting story in the NHL right now. So there's a few things going on. So I reached out to a couple sources. I said, like sources within the game, sources outside of the game, but would know. And so here's what I got, and I'm going to combine everybody because there was a lot of different people I talked to about this. First thing I heard, Evan Gold was offered the job. Now he is the GM of the Providence Bruins right now. He is the AGM there. So he's offered the job, but they lowballed him. And when I initially heard that, I was like, well, it can't be that bad, right? I had a source tell me when we talk about lowball, we're talking so a general manager, good coaches like John Cooper would make like $7-8 million a year. Berube, I think, is at 4.
4.5.
If you're an entry level coach, maybe you're at 2. General manager, AGMs are in the hundreds of thousands. General managers would be in the millions. I am told that the low ball was below the $1 million mark and well below it. That's what I'm told.
Can 750 something?
Lower than that.
Holy shit.
Now, that's what I was told. Haven't been able to confirm totally.
So
but
less than NHL min.
we're talking a low ball thing. And the philosophy from the Canucks was, listen, you have worked your way up. You've done a very good job. But we are not we're not your come in and get rich. Come in, prove yourself, and then we'll pay you. And we'll pay you the big bucks.
They don't know who they are, eh?
Well, so then there's other things that go along with this too, because the Canucks don't have the same R&D staff and analytics staff, and that's well reported on.
They don't have a practice facility.
Well, that's different. So we'll get to that too.
Okay.
They don't have the same R&D staff and that sort of thing.
They also don't have a team that didn't finish
Steve, you
last.
got to let me finish.
Yeah.
You gotta let me finish.
Sorry, I'm trying to
let me finish.
All right.
So they don't have the same R&D staff. They don't have the same analytics staff. They don't even have access to the same computer programs that most teams have. We're talking for prospects and analytics. Okay. And so Rutherford is still involved.
Okay.
And he's still making a lot of money. Okay. He's still involved, and he's a consultant, executive consultant. The Sedins play into this because they cost a lot of money to bring both of them in. And Evan Gold wanted to come in and say, all right, there's a lot of guys here that are not my guys, and I want to bring my team in, as a general manager would. And so what was happening was, not only was he evidently lowballed, that's the story, but also that the tab for severance of people that have been with the organization was going to be very expensive.
And there's 2 names I can give you that you want to bring over from Boston.
Okay, what do you got?
Their director of analytics, I'm going to butcher his last name, but it's Jeremy Rogalaski, I believe is his last name.
That sounds great.
Director of analytics, and Jamie Langenbrunner, the AGM.
Yes.
There's 2 guys he wanted to have Boston relieve of their contracts. You got to pay Boston, get them out of their contracts, and they have to say yes, and then bring them over to Vancouver. So it was going to be very expensive.
So the offer's low, then you got severance packages, then you got to buy people out of their contracts, right? So we're talking a transition here that could get up into the $5 to $10 million range if you include the Sedins, who are going to make, I'm sure they're making a few $1 million each, right? And they should. They're the Sedins. And Langenbrunner, former NHLer, very good player. He's very good defensive forward from what I remember, and he kicked the Leafs' ass, and I'll never forget it.
Of course.
So then you've got something else, and this is the part that I didn't know. There are 3 Aquilini brothers. Francesco's the one we hear about.
Oh my God, there's more than one?
Yes, but they're very different people. They're all real estate developers, but they're very different people. My understanding is Paolo and Francesco are not on the same page, and that there's a potential buyout in the works, and that you think about, okay, what did Utah go for 3 years ago? Was it $1 billion?
I don't remember because it was the Coyotes and they're weird.
But we were all surprised, right? We're like, what the fuck? $1 billion for the Coyotes or 900 million? The Senators were 900 million.
Right.
And Sportico, and those estimates are always conservative because we're not talking about open market value. We're talking about asset value, right? And asset value is different because there's no bidding war.
Utah was an expansion team, technically. I always forget that Utah was an expansion team. So it wasn't that Arizona sold, it's that Utah was an expansion.
And Phil Housley was a great Coyote.
Was he?
No, he was a Jet.
1.2 was Utah.
1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was
the
ago.
expansion fee.
Wow.
And now they're saying expansion fees will be in the $2 billion range at least, and then it's another $1 billion to build an arena. It's an expensive ball game.
And
to get it.
Rogalski, just so I just can
One more time, say it again.
Rogalski, Jeremy.
Rogalski. I love it. So they're looking
good climate to be cheap in.
So the Vancouver Canucks are in a very healthy market.
Yes.
Right? Vancouver is, people love the Canucks, people love hockey, people love sports. Vancouver fans go to everything. Like, look at what's happening with the Whitecaps right now. They might relocate and people are losing their minds, right? They're trying to get Ryan Reynolds to come in and buy them or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's
surprisingly big baseball town.
Yeah, I think the mayor just said we want to bring an MLB team to Vancouver, and I think it'll be a smashing success.
I agree.
So all of that is playing into this, and the buyout for, if this is true about the brother, we're talking $600 to $700 million. And that has to be liquid. And when you're in the real estate game, development game, your money is not liquid. It's asset based. And then if you're buying a piece of land and then you're developing it, you're taking out loans, you're building the thing, you're paying off the loans, you're selling the thing, and then you're taking that money and putting it into the next project. So I think the reason for the cheapness and the fact that they haven't got the practice arena is because of this ongoing friction. And I'm not saying that they're not talking. I'm just saying completely different philosophies, and both think it might be best to go a different direction from what I understand.
Let me be Gen Z about this. Just say you're broke.
I don't know that they're broke, but I think that they feel like, hey, what if we didn't spend $10 million to flip our front office and focus that money on this buyout and then clean that
What
up?
if you make the team better and you make more money?
Well, this is the thing that I was saying to people that I talked to is these guys have been all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Yes, it was 15 years ago, but you know how much money you make when you go that far. You could even do it on a per capita percentage basis, and they were in Game 7 of the second round 2 seasons ago. Mm-hmm. So you know how much money that could bring in. Mm-hmm. That $10 million, like we saw with Rogers with baseball, that could turn into $100 million.
It could turn into quite a bit of money.
But they know that they're a few years away from that.
Right. So you're going to stay a few years away from that if you just leave the Sedins to drown.
They also like this Ryan Johnson guy. I'm told he's a smart guy. The thing is that
I've heard good things also.
The criticism, though, is that it's not a fresh pair of eyes. And sometimes you do need a fresh pair of eyes. I don't know how it's going to work, but that seems to be the scenario. And this is piecing together.
Make a decision.
And now you're Ryan Johnson, and you're the guy that they've anointed you already. They like for the last couple of years, like, this guy's great, he's awesome. Let's hire Evan Gold. Actually, you know what, Ryan? It's you. That you talk about the Oilers being sloppy. That's sloppy.
Incredibly well, and also like we have Rick Tocchet, and we're going to replace him with guy who coached with Rick Tocchet. Oh, and also we're firing him now.
In your life, have you ever seen a coach actively leave a team when they wanted to re-sign him? I've never seen that.
I feel like there's one on the tip of my tongue. It's very rare. It's rare. Was Waugh fired or did he leave?
I don't know.
He left the Avalanche.
Oh yeah, maybe it was a difference of opinion or something.
Weird.
The Avs were a bit of a mess before Sakic got in there.
In part because of him.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's rare.
So that apparently is most of what's happening in Canuck land right now, and that's why it's such a confusing mess. Isn't that crazy?
And they lowball this guy.
Yeah, but okay, so then they lowball him. Part of me wonders, okay, so you've got Ryan Johnson in there, you clearly like him, and you were going to bring in Evan Gold, and then if you bring in Evan Gold, Ryan Johnson probably goes, well, okay, they're not going to hire me, and he leaves. So how serious and committed were they to Evan Gould? Because I feel like, Jess, and you're going on this track
I think
here
at
too.
the end of the day, this was kind of always their guy.
Yeah.
If they could sneak in Evan cheaply and with no extra baggage in disrupting the rest of the league and their organization, they just have him in there and then he can run things and everything will be smooth, then they would have done it. But I think in the end, they're probably really happy with the guy they got.
I think they are too. I think they really like him.
Yeah.
And you better be happy with the guy they got, or they're going to revoke your credentials. Kick you out of the game mid-game.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they're really cool.
I support the Canucks. This is a great move. They are a great organization. They have done no wrong. Yes, master, you are amazing.
Jesus. You're doing great, Francesco. We all love you and always have. Please don't kick us out.
Well, we haven't been, so we don't really
I've been.
worry. Oh, have you been?
I've been to Rogers Place. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Very nice region.
I've been. Never for a Canucks game though. There was you guys ever heard of the Olympics? Sorry.
So
tiny little tournament.
It's a fascinating. Yeah. So I'm the only one that hasn't been.
Yeah.
Piece of crap.
Wow. Terrible.
Yeah, good skill issue.
That's true. You know what? I have not spent enough time in Vancouver in my life. Every time I'm there, I'm like, this is the most gorgeous city in the world, and I don't know why I'm not here more. It's Vancouver, Seattle. Like, here's the thing. You know how they used to talk about how Florida was a sleeping giant if they ever get their shit together?
What, the Panthers?
Yeah, the Panthers. That they were going to be. Right. Everybody's going to want to sign there. Both of those franchises, if they could ever get their shit together. Because the Seattle does not. They just hired actually a firm that John Shake is associated with to do the full look at the organization, which is also interesting. If those two teams ever got it together, holy shit! You're going to have to pry people out of there.
Be so good if who's the company the Canucks just hired? The Chaikas involved.
I can look it up. I don't even.
But it'd be great if their advice was. We, after forensic audit of your organization, we think the best path forward is trade all your good players to the Leafs. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. I listen, I think sleeper sell John Shaika. And by the way, the reason we're saying Shaika is a lot of people said Shaika, and we did up until recently. We were corrected. It is Shaika with an I, like Shaika.
See what I'm saying? Like with an I.
CHI emoji. Ka.
I'm not surprised that Vancouver landed on an internal hire of Johnson and promoting two legends of their organization, and Henrik and Daniel, and that's going to be their new front office. This all in the end came out very standard.
We should say, I actually don't have a problem with where this ended, but how it got there is
Pierre Dorian
a tad ridiculous.
Was a side quest. What? How did we get here?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and is everything for the action on the ice. Hockey fans in Canada, live bets, same game parlays, player props. Let me ask you this. It's Avs and it's Wild tonight. Series is 3-1. Sometimes you see a team close it out. The Avalanche have only lost one game in these playoffs. But the Minnesota Wild were built for this. This is why Guerin put these guys together and spent what he spent on Quinn Hughes and Michael McCarron and other guys. Nick Foligno. Can the Wild push it one more game? If you had $2, a $2 Steve, who would you put it on?
So I've been sticking with my bets all playoffs. Like what I said at the beginning, and I don't waver from it. Boy, we're a long way from Wild in 7. So Colorado.
Oh, wow. Jesse, do you have faith in the Minnesota Wild?
Colorado heavy favorites tonight to get it done. So BetMGM does not believe in the Wild, but I will take the Wild. I do believe in them tonight, at least pushing it to game number 6.
Okay, I will also take the Wild. I think they can do it. And I just at least want to see this go 6 games. I think that's what it is. You know what? It's a heart bet more than it's a head bet. Okay, so BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. 19 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. I want to talk a little quickly about the Vancouver Canucks' third overall pick, too. Because obviously Manny Malhotra is their AHL coach. He's been A few teams have circled on that. He was the runner-up to Adam Foote. Caleb Malhotra sure seems like the guy, does he not?
Yo, that player is incredibly good.
Like, he seems like the guy that Vancouver's going to take.
He is incredibly, incredibly good. Played with the Brantford Bulldogs. So, at what point do we talk about the Corey Pronman stuff? Because
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Corey Pronman,
I also don't know.
has been known as a really, really good prospects guy.
Yep.
And he's been really, really good at nailing who's picking who.
Okay.
And you guys might remember we were watching on our phones before heading to the draft in 2022 in Montreal, because that was the Shane Wright draft.
Yep.
Where it looked like Shane Wright was probably going first. But then Corey Pronman goes, here's what the top 4 is going to be. And it's going to be Juraj Slafkovsky. And then it's going to be, I think it was Simon Nemec. And then it's going to be Logan Cooley. And then it's going to be Shane Wright.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like, that's insane. What are you talking about? And bing, bang, boom, bang.
The GMs did a good job that draft, actually.
They sure did.
Looking back,
They did.
They made the right calls.
But the reason I bring that up, I don't remember where he has him. I have to look it up. But he doesn't have McKenna first.
Oh, who does he have?
I don't remember.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to look this up. This is shaping up to be this is a stressful draft to have the first overall pick. Put it that way, because a number of guys could go first. And if you ask most of the people who do this for a living, they wouldn't blame you for taking that player first. But the guy who's been the consensus number 1 for the longest is Gavin McKenna. And the guy the public expects to go first is Gavin McKenna.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the first pick and you don't pick Gavin McKenna, you better be correct.
And there are marketing opportunities and stuff too. Like Scott Wheeler's been on some shows saying, like, remember, he was on Leaf Report.
Yeah, he's
like,
coming on our show, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah, I should probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whenever.
Adam's learning this for the first time.
That's fine. Listen, we've had Wheels on before. I love him. But he's like, hey, remember, there's like, yeah, remember, well, what?
I wasn't going to
Can't
say
call him
anything, but.
Why can't we call him that?
Oh, Wheels.
That's better than Wheelie. Or what are those?
I don't know if it is.
You don't think so? What are those shoes with the wheels on them? What are those called?
Heelys.
Heelys. We should call them that.
I don't think
Heels.
he'd care for that.
You don't think so?
No.
I think he'd go for it. What's the what Jess? What do you have there?
Okay, so back to Corey Pronman.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do a reveal. Thank you, The Athletic. I know you're supposed to pay for this, but I'm gonna show everybody on the screen and watching that on YouTube at home and listening on audio. Okay, number 1, Steve. Who do you think he has first?
I'm gonna go Chase Reed.
Adam.
McKenna.
Chase Reed, number 1. Matt, you got to remove.
Wow.
I have heard that
from
the
bottom
Leafs
up.
like Chase Reed a lot.
So this is a big right-handed. Oh God, please be a defenseman. He's
He
a
is. Oh, yeah.
defenseman
Yeah, he is, and he's a right shooting defenseman.
Yes.
from the Sioux Greyhounds, and Dubas sitting there. It should have been me.
Number 2. Steve, who's your guess for number 2?
Caleb Malhotra.
Adam, do you have a guess?
Stenberg.
Oh, we have at number 2, Albert Smith.
Wow. Latvian god from the Olympics. Man, I liked Albert Smith.
Germany.
Oh, Germany. Excuse me.
He's Latvian. He plays in Germany.
He is
out of Germany. Yeah.
He was great in the Olympics.
Playing for Munich. Shoots left, 6'3", 205.
That guy's a monster.
Albert Smith.
I'm shocked that
Second
he's
overall.
only 205 pounds. Like, seeing him at the Olympics, he's a big boy. Like, he's
Do you
monstrous.
think this is what San Jose needs? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
100%.
a defenseman of any kind, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. They're going lefty defenseman San Jose at 2. Toronto went Chase Reed, D right-handed at 1. Number 3 is the Vancouver Canucks.
Malhotra.
Who do they go with?
Malhotra.
According to Corey Pronman. It is
Whoa!
Keaton Vera.
Wow.
From North Dakota, playing out of North Dakota, sorry. 6'3", they added that. 6'3", shoots right, D, 212.
Also, they should say where he's from.
Yeah, they should add that too, instead of just the team that they're playing for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's Canadian.
Yeah. They just- well, look at Smits, right? That's a Latvian jersey.
I think he's Latvian.
Chase Reed, it's like, yeah, he's always.
Last one, number 4. Who is it?
Gavin McKenna.
It's got to be
Gavin McKenna.
Wow.
Number 4, 2.
That would
Whoever
be,
picks fourth.
Who is picking fourth? Is that Florida? No.
No, they're ninth.
Vancouver's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary.
No, Calgary
Rangers?
6. Calgary 6.
Rangers.
You tell me.
I don't know the answer.
Okay, hold on.
okay.
NHL draft order.
At a Penn State out of Yukon.
Why don't I know that?
Whitehorse?
Yukon.
Chicago.
Whitehorse. Yeah.
Blackhawks. So he get to set up Bedard. That's
Oh,
not bad.
Holy
Blackhawks
shit.
take
That would be good.
McKenna.
That would be good
Okay.
for them.
Shoots left, 5'11", left wing.
So let's.
Thank you, Corey.
Leaf fans, I think it's important to have this conversation now so that we're not blindsided by it in June. Corey knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam, based on conversations you've had and based on conversations I had, the notion that it might not be McKenna did not fall out of the sky. It might not be McKenna.
Mm-hmm.
Let's devil's advocate this. Holy smokes, do they need any kind of elite defenseman? They have a chance to draft the best defenseman they've had in decades. Literally.
They haven't had a true number 1 since Boris Salming. Let's call it what it is.
I would
True
argue
NHL number 1.
Morgan Riley had at least one season, maybe several, where he was a true number 1. Not every season, and not an elite one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not an elite.
I will disagree, but I will.
He had 20 goals and 72 points.
He's still a second piece. He was never good on defense.
Goddamn.
He never was.
Well-
the Analytics always supported that.
So you got one of the top prospects guys in the industry going bing, bang, boom. 3 defensemen at the top. And I'm pretty sure he left out a significant one. I can't remember who. Who's
This is number 5. It's in tiers.
Carson Carrolls?
Uh,
Isn't he a D?
you want another defenseman guy?
So he has Carrolls at
Carson
7.
Carrolls is going 7, yeah.
Man.
I
don't think there's a creative scenario where you move off of first, like trade the first and move down. I think it's if you're going for a defenseman, you pick the guy. I think that's how it works.
I don't think you can not pick McKenna.
I don't think you
There's
can either.
too much on the line with if he is everything he could be. That is so much greater than anything you're getting out of Chaser.
Because his ceiling is absurd.
The ceiling there, if you miss that, that's unforgivable for 100 years.
Like Matthews in 2016, there was a notion of what if Laine, but Matthews was pretty obviously
lock.
number 1.
Lock.
The top of this draft looks a lot like 2022.
I would much
It's stressful.
rather the Leafs trade Matthews and get 2 picks in the top 5.
Damn. Oh my God.
Why not Reed and McKenna?
Yeah, we know that.
You're talking my language.
The thing is that which of those teams is he going to accept a trade to? Because people keep saying San Jose. I don't know. I don't know. I know that people want it to be San Jose because it's the 2nd overall pick.
He was born in California, but that doesn't necessarily mean he wants to go there.
Yeah.
How many Ontario-born players are like, I'm not going to Toronto or Ottawa?
Yeah.
Screw that.
Many.
A lot of them.
I mean, Jesus, that's a big organizational swing too, right? Like, and that is a conversation for this offseason.
Yeah.
Matthews has made it one. I'm not sure I'm going to be back.
Home is a concept. One story I heard about Joe Thornton back in the day is if he was going to sign back home, quote unquote home, it was going to be Detroit because the Red Wings were closer to where he grew up than the Leafs.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
From the business side of it, how many millions of dollars are you losing by not drafting McKenna?
Man, how many millions is McKenna losing?
Well, I don't care. I care about the Leafs.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Well, like all due respect, kid. Yeah.
I'm thinking about from that perspective.
You are.
For them making that decision of taking him there, it's just not comparable. You look at something like Instagram followers. He's got 200,000 Instagram followers. You go to Chase Reed's Instagram, it's 6,000.
Holy shit.
These aren't comparable people.
Wow.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, for sure.
And that's something. Honestly, you guys will go, well, that's so stupid. Who cares? Whatever. It's like, no, that factors in. Listen. If Chase Reed was the clear-cut winner,
that gets fixed overnight. By the way.
Oh yeah, Chase Reed will have two. If he gets drafted first overall here, he's going to be
By the Leafs.
Yeah.
But people are probably upset at me for bringing something like that up. But I'm telling you, the Rogers brass sitting there are considering that. The marketing of the person also plays into these organizations who are an entertainment product at the end of the day.
And I'm going to, Leaf fans, this is important. You got to take a page out of Habs fans' books. No, just shut up. Here, wait. Get over here. I was there. I was in the building that night.
When Slafkovsky went first?
When Slafkovsky went number one. Those guys had no idea Slav was going number one. They all thought it was Shane Wright. There was a dude with a Habs Shane Wright jersey. There was. When the Habs picked Slav first, everyone went, oh, hey! That's how you have to handle it. That's
true.
You can be mad on the inside. Don't let the hockey world know you're pissed.
He's our guy.
The hockey world wants you to be pissed. Whoever they pick, that's your guy. All right? Poker face. You figure it out. You yell at each other in a group chat or something. You don't let the public know that you're pissed.
Now,
Get Tingus Pingus.
What the fuck did they do? This is the closest hockey's ever been to Tingus Pingus because there's a Latvian guy who Corey Pronman projects to go second overall.
Yeah. So here's where I would push back on the Chase Reed thing too.
He's never heard of Lativia?
The window.
If
you're keeping Matthews and therefore keeping Nylander, because if Matthews goes, so then will Nylander. That's just, we know, just know that. Okay. That's Nylander said, if we're rebuilding, I'm going to go, but I don't want to leave. Okay. So if let's say Matthews goes, hey, thanks for the plan and everything, but I still don't want to be here. Okay. All right. Well, now we could just go get the best player we think is available. But Chase Reed, look at Jackson Lacombe. The guy's like 25 and he's awesome and he's amazing. That's 6 or 7 years of development.
It takes time.
It takes forever with defensemen. And I don't, with Simon Nemich's name out there, could you not McKenna this and then go try to go get Nemich? Because here's the thing. You know what I would do if I was
second overall pick from 2022?
I don't know with Sonny Mehta if the New Jersey Devils have just smartened up and been like, yeah, we're not fucking doing that, which is what they should do, by the way. What are you fucking doing? Are you gonna trade Simon Nemich?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But even going and getting a guy like Dougie Hamilton, who probably you could get for cheap if you took the whole contract, and he would still be the best defenseman on the team and then make other moves. I think there are other things you can do to supplement this window. And I just worry that, again, the biggest problem, and people don't like to hear this. People are like, why don't they play Nyes with Matthews? Listen, I love Matthew Nyes.
They don't play well together.
They don't play well together, and Matthew Nyes does not find Austin Matthews. It's Austin that has to find Matthew. And that still sounds weird to say out loud, but it's Austin that has to find Nyes. And
I also, as a play-by-play streamer, hate when they play together.
They don't
it's
like
annoying.
Nyes is a great player, but he's not Zach Hyman, where there was real chemistry there. And there's not the vision in Nyes' game yet where he's finding the big goal scorer on the ice. One of the problems I always had with the Leafs last year was they never fucking gave him the puck, Matthews.
Matthews is a sniper, and Nyes is a bang and crash playmaker. They should be a match made in heaven, and it just doesn't gel. I love having them on the same team. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the same line 5-on-5. Doesn't work. So, apparently Chicago was really interested in Nyes. Apparently Montreal was really interested in Nyes. Everyone's interested in Nyes.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah. Yeah. And no trade protection there.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
Charlie Coyle just got $6 million at 34. Nyes is the age he is and makes $775. It's a great contract.
We got to give Brad that. The Tavares and the Nyes deals. And you know what? OEL and Tanev too.
Well, at minimum, the Nyes and Tavares deals.
OEL deal was great.
OEL deal
phenomenal.
Was great. You're right. Tanev, I have my questions, but yes.
Tanev's still too long.
Sure.
Tanev goes another 4 years.
Yeah.
It was reaping and sowing.
There's an island.
That was the first year was oh awesome. Or no, sorry, that was sowing.
Yeah.
And then reaping. Oh fuck.
Hey. There's an island.
Robota?
It's been vacant for a while, but I hear there's a very nice house on it. And Tanev, I have faith that Tanev will come back and be very, very good. I do. A lot of people are like, I don't know how he's gonna. I'm like, he's come back from injuries. He'll be fine.
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, Charlie Coyle. Let's just quickly touch on that. What a deal. What a deal for Charlie Coyle, who is coming off a career year, 34 years old, 6-year contract. So I guess Columbus wanted to keep the AAV down as much as they could so they could be active in free agency. That essentially takes the best free agent center off the board, I'm pretty sure. Like the free agent class this year is not great.
And it got worse.
Yeah.
This is great if you're a team that wants to make trades. The more guys who come off the board, if you're looking for rose-colored glasses way of looking at this.
Totally.
And now, as a Blue Jackets fan, you no longer have to be like, oh no, we're going to lose this guy. Right? Which it seems to be like a friggin' every year thing for you guys, no matter how good or bad the team is. Did you pay a premium to keep him? Yeah. Is $6 million going to be worth a whole hell of a lot in the coming years? No.
No.
But in 2026, there's some sticker shock.
Yeah. I think we
It's
have
a lot.
Here's the thing. People still ask me, like, what's the cap going up? You know, it's in print, right?
Yeah.
Like the cap is they last year said here will be the cap for the next 3 years. We're smoothing this out. It's about $10 million a year. So it'll be between 105 and 107. Then it's going to go up to like 115.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go to, into the 120s in 3 years. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, we're already starting to hear owners go, well, I'm not spending to that. Now, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, until you start to lose.
And then the owners will go, okay, I'll spend. It's $10 million.
And your whole fan base goes, poor.
I don't think that. But here's the funny part. There are so many guys under contract that I feel like it's going to be very difficult for a lot of teams to spend to the cap because everybody's signing with their team. Who do you spend it on? And that is why I think the Toronto Maple Leafs ought to take advantage of a guy like Dougie Hamilton's deal, bring him out, because who fucking cares, right? Like you could spend to the cap. No one. That's the one thing. I know Toronto's been a little. Apparently, there've been some cuts behind the scenes, but nobody's saying, "Oh, the Leafs won't spend to the cap." They will spend to the cap.
Right.
Rogers will spend money.
They're cheap in odd ways.
Yeah, players they'll spend.
Yeah.
And so, take advantage of. This is where you got to Verbeek this. Pat Verbeek took a too expensive Jake Trouba, a too expensive Alex Killorn, a too expensive Chris Kreider, and paired it with a bunch of kids.
Because he could afford it.
And what about Granlund too? A lot of people were like, "Well, that's a lot of money for Granlund."
I wasn't on board with a lot of what the Ducks did, and they've done great.
This is the thing. You got to start looking for those opportunities. I feel Dougie Hamilton, man. I feel like there's something there. Just get him set up. And then you got Danford probably playing in the AHL a lot this year, but maybe getting a cup of coffee in the big time. Yeah. And then maybe Will Villeneuve comes up.
Who knows?
You've got options. You need to have more options. The Leafs had no options last year.
It's not a bad time to go young. Like the younger your team is, the less.
Well, Dougie's not young, but this is how you get maybe an asset back for that.
Right. Sorry, but my mind is distracted here. The first overall pick. I know we started talking about Charlie Coyle.
I was about to say, this is the Charlie Coyle segment. What are you doing?
It's changed everything.
Sorry, it's about the Leafs. Did you hear?
You're going back.
It all blends together because we're talking about like philosophies you go into the offseason with, right?
Okay.
It changes everything because you went from having no options to having an abundance of them. Because you went from having no pick this year to the best one you could possibly have, which is crazy. So that's a team that this offseason should be looking to make a lot of moves. And I think, Chayka has, spotty resume and all, but he has itchy thumbs. He'll make it happen. The Blue Jackets, I assume they'll go out there and try to make deals. They always do. But you have a decent team.
Yeah.
You should be in the business of retention. You should be trying to keep guys. Coyle was good for you. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but like Adam said, the cap's going up astronomically.
And I look at their roster and the guys who performed this year, and I think they're a lot closer than think they were at the beginning of last season. Like, I think they've ended the season at least moving forward a little, in your progression of becoming a playoff team again. I think they took a step this year. And even though they did crumble in the end, and Rick Bowness was very mad about that, and he threw his little
man, he loves to set his team on fire at the end of the year, right?
Oh, they got an extension.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of positives to take away from this year, and you have one of the best defensemen in the league,
and who's
going to win the Norris
entering
Trophy.
His last year or two of his deal. You better start winning,
or you could trade him, and then that's even more interesting.
Well, I think the Coyle thing says they're not.
No, you don't trade them.
What I will say about the Blue Jackets is the way they started the season made it so that under bonus they couldn't afford to have a slump at all, and they had one. They had one slump under him, and it cost them their season.
And that spot was there for the taking in the Penguins spot or the Philly spot. Like, if you played well, you could have been one of those two teams who stuck into a bad division spot.
Lots of teams who have a good back half kind of delude themselves into thinking they're good. I think the Blue Jackets actually are.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And if anybody curious about the cap numbers that Adam was talking about, this last year the cap was 95.5, and it's going up to 104 for next season. And then the year after that, the projection that they wrote, it'll go from 104 to 113.5 for the 27-28 season.
Now, the key part of that, and Alan Walsh will bang this drum, is that they are always 2 years behind in their accounting. And so what's happening is a lot of players, and this is not really going reported, but it's happening. A lot of players, you put your money in you used to put your money in the escrow thing, right? Because it's supposed to be a 50-50 divide between players and teams. And so at one point, players used to put like 20% of their paycheck into escrow and maybe get a little bit back. Now the players are putting 0% into escrow, and they're still getting money back from the owners. So let's say you made $1 million 2 years ago and you're out of the league now. You might get a $50,000 check one day, each season or whatever since.
That's a good day.
That you're getting paid, because the owners have to equalize this. Yeah. And so, the salary cap projection is the key word here. We know it's going to be at least $9 million. It could be 10, it could be 11, it could be more. So that's also the key thing to keep in mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it will. And Gary and the owners definitely want to keep it lower because the owners hate the fact that it's going up. But that's what's happening. And I don't think the owners should really hate it because there's nobody available in free agency anyway. Who are you going to overpay? Mason Marchment? Like, what do we got? Can we look this up? There's nobody there.
I have it here. And just to finish off what you're saying, I think it's a really good point about the revenue split that the owners and the players have. It's 50-50. So at the end of the season, the owners owe more money to the players. Every single player in the NHL gets that money back from whatever season they've finished the accounting for. And now, because they're making so much money, these checks are really giant that are going to individual players and just their bank accounts.
Sidney Crosby's making great bonus checks. Yeah. He's making more than the 8.7 actual
And
dollars.
it used to be that they're taking from the players.
Yes.
And they had to pay back all that COVID money. But now it's just like, here's checks to Crosby.
They paid it back in 2 years, the COVID money.
The NHL's a booming business.
Well, can I before you get to the pending guys? I want to talk about how far we've come because I forgot what the salary cap was when it was introduced. This is from a CBC article from 2005, and it includes the things in the CBA that they agreed to. First of all, a 24% salary rollback on all existing player contracts. So if you were an NHL player, what do you make? Okay, take a quarter of it. And flush it down the friggin' toilet.
You'll never see it again.
And then plus the escrow that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they just got completely murdered. A team-by-team salary cap with a payroll range of $21.5 million to $39 million US in the first year, based on projected revenues of $1.8 billion. Before McDavid signed his ridiculous extension, we were talking about he can make $20 million.
The league max is 20.5.
No player can earn more than 20% of the team cap. For 2005-2006, this means no player can earn more than $7.4 million.
Wow.
I mean, you said league revenues at $1.8 billion at that point.
Yeah.
They're like $7 billion, $8 billion now.
Yeah.
And that's we won't know the full number of this year until 2 years from now, because that's how long it takes to get the accounting done.
So this is why earlier in the show I was talking about Chara making 7.5.
That was crazy.
He made
That's on a $60 million cap, right?
Yeah, this was a couple years later. No, I think it was less than that.
Wow.
This was a couple years later. Chara was making like close to the max. That's why everyone was like 7 and a whoa.
Yeah.
That's Morgan Riley money. But back then it was insane.
What did you say that number's 30? It was the max?
$39 million.
$39 million.
That was the whole salary.
And if I'm
cap.
not mistaken, the next year it went up to like 42 and a half.
That's how the Leafs got Lindros for $1 million a year.
Yeah.
It was like Sundin Lindros.
That's barely a league.
Jason Allison.
For
Yeah.
$1
Oh
million.
my goodness.
Yeah.
And you got to think all the players who really fought hard in negotiations for that and didn't just bend over for the owners at all.
Yo.
Seeing those numbers now, I'm like, why did you guys give up? What did you gain by giving up?
Because
Nothing.
The old players said,
Yep.
fuck the youths.
Yep.
And then that's where the ELCs were introduced, by the way.
Yes. Here, let me scroll back up. An entry-level system. So they agreed to, this is a list of the things they agreed to. An entry-level system with a rookie salary cap of $850,000.
And it hasn't gone up much since. It's like $950 now.
No.
And then that's if you get your Schedule A's and Schedule B's, but who hits their Schedule A's? Nobody fucking hits a Schedule A.
So Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin and Dion Phaneuf and all of them, their cap
$800,000.
hit was $850,000.
And Malkin coming in. Imagine all that talent coming in 2 years worth of, and those are two really good drafts.
Jordan Stahl, Marc-Andre Fleury, I think was already there.
Foligno would have been in there too.
Yeah.
I think. Or
Patrick
just
Kane
after.
was
I'm not
first
even
overall.
mad at that number at that time. I'm upset at the 20 years that have passed and it hasn't gone up and what that setting the number there has done to the future generations of the guys coming into the league.
To give you some context, in the 2003-2004 season, the Leafs salary spent because there was no cap was somewhere in the $70 to $75 million range. When there was no cap in 2003.
Wow.
So they had to go roll it back to 39 mil.
Oh, Sundin made like $9 million.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the ability of the owners. The owners had the money to do that.
Yeah.
And the players just said, even though they can spend it, let's let them make these rules where let's just cut it all out.
Gary's made the argument, and I think there is some truth to it, but it's not the full truth, as everything that Bettman says is. You'll have people, every time we bring this up, you'll have people say, well, the small market teams wouldn't have survived. And it's true. A market like Winnipeg would struggle in that. But if there was no salary cap, I don't think the NHL goes back to Winnipeg. Let's be honest, right? I don't think it goes that way. Mm-hmm. And so there's a benefit there. Yeah. But here's the thing.
The first two cap cups, by the way, were Carolina and Anaheim.
Yeah, right. The thing about it is that first off, that completely ignores the American dollar because most of the small markets are in the States. Small markets at that time, especially. Second, and the American dollar is so much stronger than the Canadian dollar, even back then. I mean, there was a time in 2011 when the American economy was not great, where we were on par, but it ain't that anymore.
It was brief.
The thing is, I think now the small market teams again are going to start to complain about this cap rising too much. And what I keep going back to is it ain't about the cap. And this is the boring subject nobody wants to hear about. I know I'm going to get comments and the thing going, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Trust me, I do. It is actually rev share. The teams, you know why the NFL can have a team like Green Bay survive? Their rev share is unbelievable. Their rev share is, of the national TV deals and all the things. So the big profitable teams have to put some money into a pot. It's called socialism, corporate socialism, and they have to spread it around so everybody benefits as everybody goes up. And the reason that you want to do that as a billionaire owner is that it makes other people who want to buy in want your product more, which then pumps the value of your product. So it actually puts your franchise asset value on steroids. So it's a good thing to do that. NHL revenue sharing is abysmal still. And that's why. And I think if you got to a point where you could actually get that going, then you have a situation where you don't need as hard of a cap as you do right now.
And Adam, doesn't the money you make year to year not matter?
It doesn't matter.
Because they're billionaires, and two, because it's the asset value of the actual team.
Yeah. So, okay. So about 10 years ago, I had a conversation with somebody who's really high up in the business side of a NHL organization. And they said, yeah, so the Jets, because I was trying to understand this. I said, how? So the Jets, man, it's been a real success being back there. And he said, well, they light $25-30 million on fire every year. And this is 10 years ago. And I said, wow, how do they survive? And he said, because it's not about that. He said, first off, the Thompsons are like the 50th or 40th richest family in the world. Do they care about lighting $50 million on fire or $30 million on fire? Maybe.
Tax write-off.
But it's a great tax write-off.
Yeah.
And number two on that is it's about the value of the piece. If there are only 30 phones in the world, then, or 32 in this case, and it costs you $1 billion to get one, and they're not making more of them, by virtue of supply and demand, it's going to be worth more money.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because there's a story going on in the OHL right now that I need to educate myself on more and read about more. But basically, a hedge fund is looking into buying the Owen Sound Attack.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And well, that's the face I made.
That's the NHL. The NHL has outlawed that.
Their fans are so passionate in Owen Sound, but I was like, are you really going to make money off the Owen Sound Attack? But it's the asset.
It's asset. You know, you look at a team like the London Knights. I've had people tell me
they make money.
The Knights do make money, and I think I'm pretty sure they might be I don't know this for sure. They might be the only team that actually owns their rink too, which is, you know, that also brings concerts in and stuff like that. Everybody else is a community. It's a community supported, you know, city supported thing that has other uses, right? But the London Knights run an unbelievable organization in a great market because it's far enough away from Toronto that it's on its own, right?
Yeah.
Another team, X team, like Brantford recently sold. You know, there have been rumors about the Petes for years. Are they going to sell? Are they not going to sell? Your entry price for an OHL team is $30 to $50 million in a lot of cases.
Crazy.
And you're going, where the hell are they going to make that back? They hold on to it for 10 years and then they trade and then they sell it. That's what you're doing. It's like, it's literally, it's your Ovechkin trading card, Steve. That's all it is. Think of it like trading cards. It's just trading cards at a higher level. And
it's trading cards, except you don't even need to keep it in good condition. You just need to have it.
No, you don't.
Or like houses, but there's only 32 houses.
Yes, yes. And well, that's why housing prices are so high. There's a limited supply of them.
But like, remember,
But they're not making more, you know? It's just
Exactly.
like those franchises.
Yeah.
remember your old place? There was a house like next door to you or something. They were gutting the thing. $1.5 million.
Oh yeah. And then it was
Like,
and then the people were spending $1 million to gut it.
Right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's
so
nuts to me.
when you look at
There's different.
that's
worlds.
Toronto. That's Toronto pricing, though. It's insane. That's why I rented the house. The just to kind of put a cap on this one, the NHL, and Jonathan Becker told us this. We did an interview with him. He's the head of the Sharks. He's the president.
Yep.
And he said the NHL's actually prevented private equity from coming in. Other sports haven't. But there's only a certain percentage, I think it was 5 or less than 10% or something like that, because private equity, its job is to buy companies and strip them and then sell off the assets and make money that way. So, hey, I bought this laptop. It's a little out of date, so I'm going to strip it for parts and sell the copper and sell the battery and sell the screen and sell the van. And then when I piece it off, all those assets essentially make me more money back. And so the NHL doesn't want private investment firms to do that too much. They want singular owners who own companies to own it because they want there to be a personal involvement. I think that's a really smart business play. So I don't know what the OHL rules are on that, Jesse, and I don't know who this firm is. I don't know if they're private equity or not.
I'll send Jesse the article so we can link to it in the show. But the headline by Greg Cowan, Owen Sound Attack sale involves hedge fund man. Holy shit, Steve.
Hedge fund
Owen Sound Attack sale involves hedge fund founder and forestry company director. There you go.
Oh. So wait, did they plant trees?
I was about to say, Kawhi Leonard, Owen Sound Attack coach.
So here it is. It's from Greg Cowan in the Sun Times. Owen Sound Sun Times. There you go.
I believe I spoke to him recently for my Harry Nancy feature.
So it's a hedge fund founder, but it's not a hedge fund. So that's different. If it's the hedge fund, it's different than the hedge fund founder.
Let's not make profound proclamations from the headline. Maybe
I will read the Sun Times article and I will get back to you.
Maybe you should read the article.
Well, it's a founder. It says
Let's
founder.
see if we can just figure out what he wrote.
Why don't we try and not just guess the
All right,
article
then go
from the
down.
headline?
Let's go down. What are you
We're
waiting
not.
for?
Are we going to sit here and read the whole article?
No, we got to get to the series.
we're not going to do that.
The playoff series.
It even says 2-minute read. I don't have 2 minutes, Greg.
We're 90
I don't have
minutes
2 minutes,
in.
Greg.
We're not going to read this article. We're going to move on to playoff series.
Okay, all right. 10 minutes on Montreal, Buffalo. Steve, what did you get out of last night?
That is. Say what you will about the Habs.
Hedge funds. Sorry, Habs. Excuse me.
Say what you will about the no, Adam, they're head funds.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I get it.
Which is legal in limited places.
Head what?
What? Say what you will about the Montreal Canadiens. They're entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
They're so unbelievably unhinged. And I don't know what to make of that first friggin' period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of the way that it ended. I don't know what to make of that, of the luckiest goal of Tage Thompson's career.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that made any sense was Zach Benson scoring the winner in the most Zach Benson style ever. The Sabres showed resilience that they didn't show in games 2 and 3. They pouted and cried and got flustered.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrestled with it in game 4. I was like,
Took a lot of penalties.
Took a lot of penalties. They lose that game, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're not going to win 3 straight. Darlene was getting pissed. Lindy Ruff was getting pissed. But they got it back on the wheels, or they got it back on the rails. And all it took was the luckiest goal they've scored in a generation. Tage Thompson putting it off the end boards, hits a funny corner, comes back towards the net, banks in off Jakub Dobiš, who's been like unbeatable in these playoffs. The first period, I would love to know what you guys thought of it, because I thought Lindy Ruff was going to kill a man.
Yeah, he was pretty red.
So the Sabres are up 1-0. We go to commercial break. We come out of commercial break. All of a sudden, they're talking about a video review.
And we never get out of commercial break for the rest of our lives.
I know.
For the rest of our lives.
My God.
Oh, you guys are like, man, this is so long. I had to tap dance the whole damn time.
On nothing.
On nothing. On replays where I'm like, yeah, but from that angle. And what's funny, I was just a dog chasing a scent in the wrong direction, because we finally came to the conclusion that the refs finally came to the conclusion of the puck's in.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Quinn scored. But a buddy of mine, he was a Habs fan, he texted me, he's like, I was screaming it the whole time. They're like, oh, well, they're going to challenge for goalie interference. And I was like, oh boy, I don't know about that. Because they're showing Jack Quinn's stick touching Dobish's glove. I'm like, I don't know if that's enough. And then they scroll back like 2 seconds earlier, and it's Consta Helenius just running Dobiš over. And I'm like, oh, that's clearly goalie interference. So you see Lindy Ruff going, this should be a goal. This should be a goal. And then they announce the puck goes in, and he goes, yeah, F yeah. Another long review. Oh, never mind, Lindy. It's 1999 again. No goal. God damn it.
He's taking
and
years
the
off his life.
Habs leave that period up. Do you understand they were getting outshot like 8-1 when that happened? They were getting outshot 8-1 and already down 1-0. Lindy Ruff thinks he's up 2-0 and feeding the Habs at home. Think of what a great feeling that is. You get to intermission and you're losing the game. Son of a bitch. Think of how pissed you must be.
Man, if that was the Leafs, that's what I was thinking. All I could feel is if that was the Leafs, I'd be in
the hospital.
Yeah.
I'd be in the hospital.
I think in the end, they got everything right. I just wish it didn't take 4 hours.
It's
That's what, like the 2 replays, like it was 4 hours of my life I'll never get back.
It would have been great if the NHL was able to step in and be like, listen, it's in, but it's goalie interference, so it doesn't matter. But that's not the way the rules work.
Well, the goal in call took forever.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
I'm surprised it took that long.
At some point, we were kind of like, okay, on the front angle, you see the puck in the back of his glove, and on the back angle, you see the glove in the net. Like, on the third time I saw that, I was like, yeah, we can all put together it's in the net.
Yeah.
Just call it a goal.
I know you need to be able to see the puck in the net, but that was one where 2 + 2 = 4.
But we figured that out on the second time you saw it.
It's in the back of the glove. We know this. It's for sure. The back of the glove is in the net. We know this for sure. It's a goal. It's a goal. Oh, okay. Now we've called that. Do you want to challenge? You do? Okay, here's one player running over the goalie. You're not allowed to do that. So, no goal.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That series is amazing.
It's fun.
It's an amazing
so good.
If you watch one series, I know there's a lot of people that like once their teams are out, they stop watching and they'll listen to the news and stuff.
Yeah.
Watch that series. Watch it. It's so.
What do they do instead?
They listen to like the hockey news.
Oh.
Like you know those the
I meant,
podcasts.
like, the local news.
Oh, not the local news. Well, I would hope you at least you stay in touch with your local news.
Stay up to date. Read the Scarborough Mirror.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
The Owen Sound Sun Time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Find out if it is in fact private money or if it's a hedge fund. But no, I think the point here is that that series is that I honestly thought it was going to be Minnesota, Colorado with the series of the second round. This is the series of the second round. It is.
Here's the
It is.
thing.
It's not even close.
Tage Thompson had to magician that goal into the net. I think two things are true. The Habs could win the Stanley Cup this year.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be able to do it in less than 28 games. Every series they play has to go 7.
Yeah.
This one's going 7.
If they were going to play Carolina too, it's
going
if they
7.
were going to win, it would have to go 7.
It's going 7.
It's going 7.
They're just having one of those playoffs. The Bruins in 2011, which was an unhinged playoff run, they swept the Flyers in the second round, but every other series was 7.
Jeez.
They played a lot of hockey.
And honestly, what great training for the young Habs players. They've done a game 7. They've won it against the veteran team. So you never have that mental block of, can we do this? You can do it.
Right.
And they're going to go for another one here. And whether they win or they lose, obviously, I'm sure they hope they win. That's still great training. That's still great. Like, we've done this. We can do this. Yeah. Next year, we'll be fine.
Ironically, they played very well.
Oh, yeah. I thought the Habs were great.
Yeah. I don't know how you left the game feeling, but I think the Habs shouldn't waver in their confidence that they can get this series done.
No.
I thought they played really well. They got a couple unlucky bounces. The Sabres keep taking bad offensive zone penalties.
Yeah.
And that's their thing. And if the Habs just keep doing what they're doing, they should be confident that they can get it done.
So I agree with you on the confidence front. And I think that a big part of the reason they lost game 4 is they lost it. And they got maybe not confidence, but they lost their composure. They got frustrated, and it was most evident with Jake Evans, who was very frustrated with the whistle he was getting. But even though there were a lot of penalties last night, I thought they were all pretty valid.
Well, he took the only third period penalty and the dagger.
And that led to the Zach Benson goal. If anyone had a gripe, Caden Gooley goes down awful easy all the time. And then I heard from a few Habs fans that were like, you don't understand. He's not a diver. He just cannot stand up.
Well, that doesn't help.
Which, I've watched a bunch of Caden Gooley games, but I don't watch him every single game. But the more you watch a player, the more you notice their tendencies. And yeah, man, that's a big player. Can't stand on his feet.
Wow.
Cannot stand on his feet. I thought it was funny during the broadcast. Craig Simpson goes, that was smart by him to accept the contact. I'm like, that's a dive. Yeah. What you just described is a dive.
Yeah. Also, there's a rule in the rule book for that. Embellishment is a thing you can call referees if you believe it's a dive.
Yeah, and Dahlin is it's funny. As a guy finally playing his first playoff action, he's like, all right, here comes that playoff whistle. It hasn't shown up yet.
No,
Dahlin's
a pest.
He is a pest. He's annoying.
Yeah.
I didn't hear this, but apparently there was a broadcast. I don't think it was the Hockey Night one that suggested Dahlin, when he was bleeding, was actually trying to open a pre-existing.
That was the ESPN or the TNT one. Or whoever's doing it in America. Yeah.
I'd love to sit here and be like, that's insane. That's an insane thing to even suggest. But I'm fairly certain Ty Domi wrote in his book that he did literally that. In a game against Ottawa. He got hit from behind. I can't remember who the player was, and he cut himself open.
Oh.
But I don't think that's what Dahlin did here. He was bleeding and wasn't allowed to start the power play because he was bleeding.
Yeah, I don't think that was happening in this instance. Players do it, but it wasn't Dahlin. And it was ESPN who had the States broadcast. But yeah, there he is with his fingers in his mouth. I think he was just checking for the blood. I think he was bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to show the ref, look at all the blood. Look at how much I'm bleeding. The great thing about these playoffs, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's great that there's been so much turnover, like in terms of the playoff teams from last year to this year.
Yeah.
Because there's so many young teams and they're making young mistakes, which is causing the absence of a playoff whistle, I think.
Yeah. I've noticed that the games are called a lot more like regular season games than I'm used to.
Yeah, because I don't know.
They don't know how to get away with it.
Maybe stop cleaving everyone in the head with your stick.
Yeah.
And that's both teams.
Yep. Yep.
Right? That's both teams in this series. That's the Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw in there. It's fun. It's real
It
fun.
sure is.
But like it cost the Sens big time. You know, they weren't disciplined. The Flyers to a degree. It's great though.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's great. And now we get a minimum of 6 games out of the series. Friggin' right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing series. It's been so much fun. Now, I got to talk a little bit about the Vegas and Anaheim series.
Yeah.
I would say that 4 out of 5 games, Anaheim's controlled play at 5-on-5.
And they're losing.
And this is where let's talk about two major factors here. William Karlsson, who has come back, hadn't played since November, and has been phenomenal. And you see, honestly, I think William Karlsson's injury got Bruce Cassidy fired.
Damn.
Because he wasn't able to manage that. And with him back in the lineup, even with Mark Stone not in the lineup, which again, Mark Stone and Marner on the fucking penalty kill. Are you kidding me? That's a cheat code. And Anaheim has taken advantage of Mark Stone not being there. I think they've scored in 2 straight games. To that point, Vegas had allowed 1 goal against on the penalty kill in the playoffs so far. 1.
Jeez.
1. They're still up around 90%. So like that's an insane thing. If you have a PK at 90%, you're going to win. You're going to do great things. And the Ducks have 2 legitimate, incredible units. You've got John Karlsson captaining one. You've got Lacombe captaining the other. You've got Granlund, Cutter Gauthier, Seneca, Leo Carlson. Who else am I missing here? Troy Terry, Mason McTavish, Chris Kreider. Like you have so much depth. And what's been amazing is A, Carter Hart's making the first save. B, the defense, and here's where I get to part 2. John Tortorella has them playing this unbelievable defense where, the first shot's going to get through.
Yeah.
We are going to clear every rebound. You are not going to get a rebound. You will not get a rebound. You will not get a rebound. And when the Ducks do get a rebound, they score. And it's that, I have to say, Torts was a perfect hire for them, at least now. Perfect. And I wonder.
And to the earlier conversation, he's not being kind or a gentleman.
Nope. Not at all.
Fits Vegas well. Talk about Ryan Poehling, who you coached in that hit. No, I'm not going to fucking talk about it. Okay, you're a goof, but you're winning.
You're winning.
He does act like a complete buffoon.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day,
the buffoonery turns against his own team when things don't go well, as we saw in Philadelphia and other places.
But it's too early in his tenure for it to work against him. He might goof his way all the way to the cup.
He's in like a pussycat, out like a dragon. That's John Tortorella.
Damn.
And in 3 years, he'll be yelling about how Vegas stinks. But right now, it's great.
Yep.
And so his system is working really well. The other thing they do on the PK that Anaheim does not do, and I wish the Leafs would do this, although the Leafs PK wasn't bad this regular season. Whenever there's a guy with the puck, 2 guys immediately walk into his passing lane, and one oftentimes will just skate right at him. And what it's doing with the young Ducks team is it's forcing them to go, and they're making mistakes.
That's why even if the Ducks play like the better team, even if they are the better team, I just have such a hard time picturing them winning the series.
I don't. Because they could have won last night.
But they didn't, right?
But you learn, right? You learn. I think this is going 7.
The Leafs could have won every series they have been in.
Yeah. The Leafs didn't learn, though. No. I think the Ducks are learning.
They're learning on the fly, but are you going to learn before you lose?
Yeah.
Right? This is the problem. Vegas just has a leg up in terms of being there. And also Pavel Dorofeyev.
What a score. What a goal scorer, man.
Doesn't miss.
And what a shot. Well, I have to give Olin Zellweger a bit of a shout out too. His shot, he hasn't gotten in every game, and his shot right before OT, because he sent it to OT, unbelievable goal. And honestly, I kind of looking at Anaheim, I'm like, I know they're going to re-sign John Karlsson, but I hope they don't do something stupid and trade one of their, like a guy like him. because whatever Minchikov is right now, Olin's going to be that too.
Unless they got something awesome for him.
Yeah, maybe something Austin for him.
Oh, hey,
hey,
whoa,
whoa. I think there's a really good player there. Really, really, really good player. Anaheim has become, again, remember when they were before the defenseman factory? Cam Fowler, Shea Theodore, Josh Manson. Who else came out of there? There was like Hampus Lindholm. They had like defenseman after defenseman. There's somebody who used to play who's gone with injuries now. But they had like 6 or 7 of them that would have been like high-end Leaf guys who were barely playing in Anaheim. They were like a factory.
Sami Vatanen?
Well, he was a forward, wasn't he?
Nope.
Oh no, Vatanen's probably one of them then.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They had so many guys.
Now Jesse's going to bring up this hit. Mm-hmm. And let's have a look at it. So this is the McNabb on Paling hit. Just to let everybody know and spoil the surprise, this leads to a 5-minute major, but there was some discussion on the broadcast about it. Jesse, you want to go ahead?
All right. So you're going to see Brayden McNabb coming here to hit Paling. The puck is leaving as Paling is passing it back. Vegas steals it there. They win that scrum, and the puck is now nowhere near Paling in terms of like him playing it. He's looking at it, and Brayden McNabb continues to go at him as he is right up against the boards, and he checks him real hard, full body. Puck is long gone, and McNabb goes right into Paling. Paling hits his head. You'll see it on this angle here.
Smacks it against the boards.
Body check. He hits his head hard into the boards because of the force of this check. We'll get to it right here. There it is. Bang. His head's going up against the glass there. And this leads to Paling being down on the ground. He has to get helped off the ice. As Adam said, McNabb is assessed a 5-minute major penalty. Anaheim scores on the first half of the 5 minutes, and he also gets a game misconduct, and he is kicked out of the game.
Wonder if he gets suspended.
I don't think so.
Maybe they.
I do think he's going to get a game here.
You think he's going to get
He has a hearing with the Department of Player Safety today.
Wow.
So I think he's going to get a game.
Important to note, he was gliding in. He was not pumping his feet. So it's not a charge, right? Like that's for anybody that's listening to this and is not seeing this and maybe missed the play, he is top speed, but he's not 1, 2, 3 on the chop thing.
It's interference.
The rule is, and there was some debate, and this is where I'm like, so the ESPN broadcast, and like I heard our buddy Sid sort of torch them the other day, and I don't want to be too hard on this, but sometimes I'm like, guys, come on. So they go to so Bucci-Gross and Weeks are both like, well, it's a clean hit. Yeah, and I'm like, the puck is
it's interference.
The puck's 2 meters away,
like,
so
it's not clean.
Yeah,
instantly it's a 2-minute. But
it's
I got the rule. Don't worry. So the rule
why
is,
do we always have to fucking say that?
Rule 56.5 dictates that when a major penalty is imposed for interference infraction that results in an injury to an opponent, the game misconduct penalty must also be assessed.
Yes. So I did not know this.
I didn't either.
Until this happened and he got the major penalty, because I was like, okay, it's interference. I get it being a major, if you want to call it excessive force or anything. But the referee, based on his discretion, is allowed to award the game misconduct based on how much the other player is injured.
Yes.
That is a thing that I am now aware of. But yeah, Paling being down on the ice for that long is why McNabb gets that game.
And he tried to get up, and it was scary.
Yeah, my guess is he doesn't play again minimum this series.
Yeah, and that's a big loss for them.
He's been great. I was actually looking it up because I was going to call McNabb a predatory player. I looked it up. He hasn't been suspended in his NHL career, which I was surprised by. I have a bias against Brayden McNabb because I will never, ever forget the silence inside the building, the Hershey Center, during the 2011 Memorial Cup. He ended Joey Hishin's career during the Memorial Cup. Joey Hishin was a first-round pick of the Colorado Avalanche. He ended his career.
Wow.
He ended up coming back. He played a few professional seasons. He might have even had a brief cup of coffee in the NHL, but
was never the same.
He was projected to be a very special player. How did the Owen Sound attack keep coming up today? But he was projected to be a very special player, and he absolutely laid him the fuck out right at center ice in the Mem Cup. And he's a 35-year-old man, so it's different. So you don't need to look at 2 hits nearly 2 decades apart and be like, this is who he is forever and ever. But this is a bad hit.
It is. And the thing now that it presents, the issue presents for the Ducks is who you've got Tim Washi moving up, who has been really good on the fourth line. So that takes away from the fourth line. Who comes in and plays center? Do you put McTavish there?
Yes, that's what I do. McTavish can...
And then you get Jensen Harkins in, I guess, on the fourth line, move VL up or something like that. Like, I'm just trying to figure this out.
No, I think you plug and play.
What?
You don't screw up a good thing.
Okay. So
leave the fourth line. I think you plug and play.
So do you put Harkins on the third line then?
What's the fourth line right now?
So it was Ross Johnson, VL, and sometimes it's been Moore as well.
Right, because they've been cycling guys in.
Moore can go back and forth. Let me just pull it up.
You take one of the cycle guys, you put them on the third line, leave the fourth line as it is.
Because you do have the defense depth to take Ian Moore and put him back on forward, right? Last night when they went into the game, it was VL, Washi, Ross Johnston. And so Ross Johnston's been fine, but if you're going to bring in, like, you've got other defensemen you can use, right? They are deep on defense. If you feel comfortable, I would move McTavish over. Do you move? You don't move. So do you put Harkins there? Do you put Johnson there?
Well, let me ask this, Adam. They have enough defensemen. Do you go 11-7?
I mean, you could. You totally could. I think so. I just want to know how they would manage that. And it didn't.
It's game 5. They like ride your ponies, man.
They put a great game together after the Paling injury.
Yeah. Or no, sorry, they're heading into game 6.
But you've got
ride your ponies.
Hines. So if you're you've actually got some good defensemen back there. Okay, so you got Harkins, Vetrano's available. I forgot about him. Nestorenko, Gotcher. But then you've got Hines, Gudis, Hellison are 3 NHL defensemen right there.
Gaucher, Adam.
Gaucher? Is it Gaucher? Sorry.
Somebody we used to know.
Oh, so
hey.
So you could move.
Very millennial of you.
You could move Ian Moore up and put him. He's got some speed. You could put him on the third line. Although I really liked him on the fourth line.
So by dressing him, you are already sort of...
He's already dressed. He's playing defense, though.
Right. So what I'm saying is it's already sort of 11-7?
It is, kind of, yeah. But then you could bring in Hines, who's been good. You could bring in Gudis, and Hellison's injured. So maybe you bring in Hines. Hines has played well.
It's crazy. Like,
they have a lot of depth, this team.
It says a lot to... how good Ryan Paling's been. Like, even though they have the depth that they do, like, it's a big mess.
Man, can I just give you, can I guess Frank Vetrano's stat line this year? Remember he signed the deferred contract?
Oh my God, he did nothing. How many games did he play?
50 games.
50 games. He had like, it was insane.
He had,
I want to say like 4 goals, 20 points.
Try 5 goals, 9 points.
Jesus.
But the year before he had 45. You know that he can play hockey, but it's pretty clear Coach Q does not trust him.
Man, where does he go?
I don't know. Not with that deferred deal now, too. That's maybe the one bad contract they have. And you know what? I don't blame them for signing it. He had 60 points one year, 45 the next. And you know what's funny is when they scratched McTavish, Vetrano was not the one that came in.
No.
And McTavish has looked good since he came back. Anyway, listen, Anaheim's got their work cut out for them. I do think Vegas looks like a team that just finds ways to win.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think this is over. And I do think if Vegas gets through, assuming Colorado gets through,
listen,
that's going to be a tough series.
I'm not cheering for any of you. I want them all to go 7.
Now, Maddie wants us to go Wild Avs for a little bit here as a preview for tonight.
Oh.
She wants this clip for tonight's show too. So the Minnesota Wild really outplayed the Avalanche one game in this series, right? And that was game 3.
Yep.
They were scrubbed in game 4. You're going into Denver. You're down. You don't have Eriksson Ek, probably. You definitely don't have Brodin to your 2 best defensive players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any hope in hell, Jess?
I still believe that the Wild can get this done. I don't know. I think like the series is so close. Like I don't think Colorado's run them over. It's been plays on the margins, I'll call it, in the deciding factor in this series so far. So I'm not like, oh, this thing is over 100%.
Okay.
The depth on the Avalanche is like showing. It's right now. Like they are able to come at the Wild with waves, and that like it doesn't need to be McKinnon to get it done.
No.
And when you see it's like, oh, the Kadri acquisition just makes them look so unbelievably deep, and even their wingers too. Like it goes 4 lines, and it's scary from an offensive standpoint.
Jesse, I just sent you a stat line. Byron_D11 tweeted this. It's a screenshot from Natural Stat Trick. Yurov, not to pick on the kid, Yurov was
22.
on the ice for 21 shot attempts against and 0 for.
What else do you do?
I don't know.
Who else are you going to play there? It's not going to be McCarron. You can't. You know what? I'll be honest with you. Sturm was in and out of the lineup from time to time. He's looked really good on the 4th line. Do you try him? That 4th line is awesome, by the way. So much fun. The Felinos.
So do you take away from a strength to address a weakness?
It's a big weakness. You
It's
just
a
pointed it out.
Huge weakness. And now, God, you're heading into Colorado.
And you don't have.
They're gonna kill you. They're gonna. Oh my
Can I-
God. They're gonna put that poor kid on an island. Here's
Are
the
these
thing.
are these shots or chances?
This is Corsi for and Corsi against.
Okay.
So Danila Yurov only played 10 minutes, 28 seconds, 21-0. Now, if you look at this chart that Jesse has on the ice, no one did well.
No, game 4 was rough.
No one has more for than against. Like even Quinn Hughes was -8 in
And they
this
were
category.
By the way, they were awesome in game 3. So it was just sort of the games flipped.
Yeah, but like even, oh my God, Damon Hunt.
Mhm.
Marcus Johansson 1-4-18 against. Damon Hunt 4-4.
You need more from
21
Spurgeon
against.
too. Spurgeon's the captain. You gotta, he's a great player.
Zuccarello. Boldy 9-21. I don't know, man. Like Minnesota's name brand is so strong that if they force 7 here, I don't think anyone would be shocked. But Colorado is a freight train right now. And they did this to you at home? Oh, buddy. Unless you get a miracle, guess what I'm playing announcement from Eriksson Ek,
Yep.
you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, this is what happens when you can't line match the Avs, because like you can't throw out anybody to just stop whatever wave you want coming because they're 4 lines deep.
It makes me wonder again why they didn't go out and get a guy like Lawton. And the biggest indictment on Craig Berube's time in Toronto is the way Nick Waugh looks. He looks incredible in this series.
Drew hated that when it happened, and I was like, "You're stupid.
You're
Trust
stupid.
me."
Trust me, it's great. And like, imagine you go get a guy like Nick Waugh.
Oh, I know
How much this changes this series.
I know.
I didn't understand why Guerin did. That was the one thing he didn't do, which I know he's going to do this summer. Like, I bet
Oh, he has to.
he has to. And you have Hartman's looked good. Eriksson Ek looked good until he was hurt. You got to have one more guy. And McCarron's a good guy. You got to have one more guy.
I know, like at some point, you can't just replace everybody if someone gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But like you lost one guy and it ruined your whole plan. It can't happen.
Yep.
I know it's Eriksson Ek. I know he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I know. But it can't ruin your entire thing you got going on. 21-0, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It can't happen.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Bad.
All right. So there's Maddie's little piece. Just a couple of quick notes. Congratulations to the Rangers of the OHL, Kitchener Rangers, 4-0 sweep of Barrie so they win the J. Ross Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
What a name, eh? And also in PWHL news, Hamilton and Vegas are the new expansion markets for the PWHL just announced this morning. So congratulations.
Fantastic idea to go to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Underserved hockey market.
Yeah.
Being the first in there for like this level of hockey, I think is fantastic.
Not anymore. It's friggin' here's your PWHL and AHL.
Oh yeah,
All at once.
When's the AHL team start? Next year?
I'm going to the
Not sure.
I'm going to the AHL opening in Hamilton next Thursday. So they're going to unveil the name. I better be the
unveiling,
Hammers.
That makes sense.
Better be the Hammers.
You
Yeah.
should show up with a hammer.
Well, I don't think they'd let me in the building.
Why not?
Walk around. Are you Matthew Darsh?
This
Are
is-
you Matthew Darsh?
This is for if you make the wrong choice.
Where's Chris Lamorello?
Where's Lou? And then you turn around.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you all for listening. And don't forget, stream tonight with me, Wild and Avs, and then double feature tomorrow night. Steve Dangle first up with Montreal and Buffalo. And then I will hit you again with Vegas, Anaheim. Is it the end for both series? It could be for me. Not for you, though.
Not for me.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.